Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We are Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to discuss today. A lot of basketball. The Grizzlies, they were in action last night. Kind of what we wanted. Where Grizzlies played well. It was a close game, but ultimately Anthony Edwards did Anthony Edwards things, and the Grizzlies lost. A ton of news, though, outside of on the court last night from the Grizzlies. A Zach Edey update, a two-way update, a contract update, plenty to discuss with the Grizzlies. Talk Tiger basketball as they're back in action today, but Dr. Ed Scott did make some news today talking with the Board of Trustees. We'll discuss that, a lot other college basketball news from last night and today as we've got more conference tournaments getting started. We'll talk football as well, but plenty to discuss over these next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great, and the madness is really here. In fact, need a scoreboard update. Bellarmine, 82-79 in the final over Jacksonville.
It's huge.
People hanging on that?
Oh, I was hanging on it. I needed that one. Bellarmine -1.5 was what we had.
Oh, you got there easy.
No, we did not. We did not, Brett. It was
82-79 is more than 1.5.
Well, I'm going to tell you how we weren't there, or almost not there. Bellarmine down score with 14 seconds left to make it a 1-point lead. They call a timeout. Jacksonville calls a timeout. They come down the court. I'm thinking they're just going to hold for the last shot and throw it up there. For whatever reason, they take a shot with 6 seconds left on the game clock. Misses short, and Bellarmine gets the rebound. They foul him with like 1.7 seconds left. Bellarmine goes to the line, knocked down both free throws. So we get there, but it was a sweat. It was not easy by any means.
That's a big Wednesday afternoon sweat.
Yeah, no, it was huge. I've not bet on any of the other games. I know we have another
But it's that time of year you got to sweat to make some cash on Wednesdays.
It's sweaty season, and I am.
That's why they call it gaming.
That's exactly right. And
nothing easy about it.
I'm ready for it, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, right now we've got game 2 of the ASUN tournament. My boys down at North Alabama against Florida Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast up 3. Not a great season.
Lob City,
North
right?
Alabama. That's right. That is right. I think they've gotten a little bit away from.
Are we still Lob City?
I don't think we're still lobbing, but they are looking for a win.
Are we just City?
I think I don't even know if they're just City.
All right,
anymore.
a tradition unlike any other on Sports Time during March Madness. Landon, get ready. Be ready. True or false? One of the 99 teams to ever make a Final Four, Jacksonville. True or false?
Very true. Very true.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah, very
and
true.
You know who, through the years, you know who it was with. 2 classic big men, Artis Gilmore and
I don't know.
Pembroke Burroughs III.
Oh, well, Pembroke. How could I forget? Can't forget about Pembroke. So, yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of tournament action tonight. I mentioned only one game right now, but later tonight around 6 o'clock, a lot of conferences getting started, a lot of really fun games outside of that. Got some SEC games, got some Big 12 games, some Big East games as well. Scoreboard watching in the American tonight with some games as well. So,
big shootout in Fayetteville.
That's right. Yeah, no, that's a really big one tonight with Arkansas and Texas. So it's going to be a really fun night of hoops. I feel last night was a lot of fun as well. So we really are getting deep into March, and it's going to be a blast.
Sun Belt with their very different bracket.
Yeah, no, it's
ODU and Georgia Southern.
Yeah, it's weird, but good for them, I guess.
Tonight.
Yeah, no, it's going to be
OVC.
Yeah, it's a handful of leagues getting going, or at least continuing. Last night we had Doug Gottlieb get a win for Green Bay, first time since the 2019-2020 season they've won a conference tournament game.
I saw Green Bay one time in an NCAA tournament.
Really?
I want to say 96 Dallas Regional, I think. But I've seen Green Bay out in the NCAA tournament.
Wow, how about that? I don't think they're going to get there this year, but at least getting
That's not
win.
Fuzzy Thurston and Paul Horning and Forrest Gregg. Green Bay.
Definitely not. But they're fun, and they'll at least get one more game this season in their conference.
Late tonight, USC at UW at Washington. USC in?
I think they're squarely on the bubble. I would say. I don't know what bracketologists say, but that is not a great USC team, and obviously Chad Baker-Mazara not on the team anymore. He was their leading scorer. So yeah, I mean, you certainly don't want to lose anymore if you're USC, no matter where these bracketologists have them.
Auburn people told me they were scared to death that he would sabotage the season last year.
Yeah, you've heard that, and I saw a lot of people when that news came out just not surprised at all that was the way
he's nuts.
It was going to end. It was weird the night because they played the night before, and I was watching it, and he got subbed out, and instead of sitting on the bench, he sat kind of on the baseline, like second or third row of the baseline. Yeah, and I was like, what is going on? And some USC people were saying that's nothing new. He's done that pretty much all season long. It's very weird, but that wasn't just a last night thing, so very strange.
With how the bench area now, college and pro, but a few years ago, not the most famous incident at the Palace, we know what it was, but there were fans inside the bench area, like player to the left, player to the right, drinking a brew.
Wow, how about that?
You can't have that.
Yeah, no, you definitely can't have that
But
at all.
here's something you just cannot have. And I think through the years I would be properly labeled as a referee defender.
Sure, yeah.
And I still am. Hardest job ever, especially now with how myopic we are on every single possession and everything.
Sure.
We have to have sports be the most perfect thing this side of air traffic control
of course,
in our country. It really is.
Oh, no,
you think of the examination, the introspection that goes into the officiating, refereeing, umpiring of sports. There's no other more perfect thing in our society.
No, you're right.
Heart surgery's not as perfect as it is.
No, it's not.
But how do you have 6 players on the court for Kentucky?
Yeah, no, that's insane.
You can't let that happen.
No, you can't. No, that just can't. Absolutely
You
cannot.
can play with 4.
Yeah, sure, but no, 6 is.
Most play with 5.
Yeah,
You can't play with 6.
6 one too many.
Yeah.
One too many. I pulled up Joe Lunardi's bracketology. USC in the next 4 out. So not only are they squarely on the bubble, they got to win some games if they want to make.
They got to
the
win
NCAA
tonight,
tournament.
this weekend, and some next
and
week.
make some noise in the conference tournament, which I don't know if they will be able to. But yeah, I'll be tuned in tonight for that game. Speaking of late night games, last night, Brett, the most fun game by far of the night last night. Maybe the most fun I've had watching a college basketball game in the last couple of weeks. UNLV beating Utah State at home. An unbelievable performance.
At Logan.
That's right. No, last night was in UNLV.
Oh, was it?
But they swept.
Yeah,
they swept. They beat Utah State both times. Last night's game was so much fun. UNLV was just making the craziest shots and ones on most of them, and just somehow the ball was finding the bottom of the net.
CJP peaking at the right time.
That's exactly right. And it got to a point where, it wasn't even a huge lead, but there's like 14, 15 minutes left in the game, and UNLV's up by 8 or 10 points, and Utah State, you could just see them just start freaking out and just trying to get back into the game with threes, and they couldn't make them. UNLV would get the rebounds and get runouts, and they had one guy with a triple-double last night. It was a lot of fun. Our guy Tyron Jones, Mr. No Name from against the Tigers, he was awesome. He had 17 points. 4 rebounds.
Along with Headband, my 2 favorite opponents all year.
Yes. So that game was fun. I was locked in to that game last night.
What was it final?
92-65.
Any allegations of running it up?
No, I don't think so. They were having fun, though. And
92-65.
and the fans were rocking, for sure. It was a good game. It was
That's
a lot of fun.
more than the margin by the Tigers in Logan, if my public school math holds me up.
I'm going to trust your math. It's a little too late on a Monday afternoon to be doing.
Well, that's 27, right?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that is 27.
And the disputed score at Logan was, well, it wasn't the score. We know what it was.
No, it was the windmill dunk.
It was the windmill dunk.
It was the windmill dunk. That's what it came down to. And that game last night was very late, so I can't promise that I missed a windmill dunk. I don't think there was any windmill dunks
Penny
last
whined
night.
about it, and I will remind people, at East, he beat Overton by 96.
Yeah. No. But did they windmill dunk at the end of the game?
That's the whole question, isn't it?
That is the big question, and I can't answer.
96 at 66. Couldn't that have been enough?
I would think so, but no coach am I.
Yeah.
So I'll let him do his thing for sure. But speaking of Memphis and speaking of Penny Hardaway, earlier this morning, athletic director Ed Scott shared with the board of trustees at their meeting this morning that Memphis basketball is projected to lose $1.2 million, a $1.2 million deficit. And that is based on the preseason projections of what they budgeted
so it's
for.
Not really a loss.
No, it's just a deficit of kind of what they budgeted for, what they projected, what they thought.
And they probably
would
spent
get.
around it. So in effect,
Sure. In effect, it really
unless somewhere midstream they saw that shortfall coming. And hey, let's watch the spending.
Yeah, well, I mean that is
like we all have to do.
Yeah, that is that really is a good point. But 1.2 million, that is again the projected deficit. It's budgeted and year-to-date revenue generated from ticket sales and parking. That includes season tickets, single game tickets, and parking. And I think you saw that coming if you've watched any of the games and seen those crowds.
We did.
That have,
and in total fairness. In total fairness, we did draw from really the January, February games. One of the crummiest times of the year to go to games.
Oh, definitely.
At any time, day or night with the weather.
Yeah.
We really did. Not did it affect it that much? Sure didn't help.
No.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I think fair to an extent, but I mean, go back and look at, last week, 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's been all year where the crowds haven't been there. So yes, for that time, I would say
from opening night against
fair.
San Francisco,
yeah, it just hasn't been good.
Opening Saturday afternoon, I never got that.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
In the heart of the football monster.
That's right. And so, I mean, obviously, like I said, these were just projections, and obviously Memphis basketball. When you're looking at all of your sports, you're going to project a lot more money for men's basketball and men's football, or not men's football, but football and men's basketball.
I've done that. I know what you're coming from. I've called it men's football.
Oh, I mean, that doesn't bother me at all. But he even went on to say that in terms of all 6 programs, men's basketball, football, women's basketball, baseball, softball, and volleyball, men's basketball was the only one that fell short of those budgeted projections.
Well, that's good. That was good. Some really smart analysis to realize with stadium renovation, it's probably going to come in a little under, and the other sports have historically lagged.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you can look at those other sports and kind of know where you're at based on
and they're a
previous
little bit
years.
of a charge off. One time, and I'm not taking a shot at him by invoking. I am not, because he was very nice to me, very nice to this radio station, and I think all in all did a really good job. But one time, R.C. Johnson and I were having a off-the-air conversation about budgets and profits, etc., and I mentioned a historical non-revenue producing sport, and he said, almost bewildered, he said, "You mean like really make a profit?" I went, "Yeah, you bring in more." It will never happen.
No, it just doesn't. And so I think obviously you look at those and you kind of you know what to budget for, and then obviously it's going to be a lot more for football and men's basketball, and so definitely coming up short with men's basketball, and just kind of adds to what the season has been. And we talked I think yesterday or Monday about when we always get that story in the spring of actual scan count and all of that, but I mean we don't even need to wait for that. We're seeing this today.
No, we don't.
And looking at what it is.
The only thing I want around it, Bryant, just for my own edification, is the 1 or 2 or 3 people that I send regularly the scan count number, and I'm just giving a for instance. Let's say for opening afternoon against San Fran, I send them 47.94. I'm not grabbing that out of the thin blue sky. No. I'm getting that from very good sourcing. Yeah. It's not, again, I'm going to go through it all again. It's not proprietous. It's no violation. A lot of people could be asking a lot of people with FedEx Forum, vis-a-vis, DBA, Memphis Grizzlies, and get the same number. I would bet you if you researched it hard enough and you went in hard enough, you could get it game by game instead of going with the fairy tale box score number. But I send them that number, and almost without reservation, I'm saying close to batting 1,000. Oh, no way. It was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It is no way. It was more than that. And then scan count comes out to the number I sent to people November, December, January, and February.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I definitely get that side of it. But no, it is, it is important to, kind of pay attention to this because you're seeing all across athletics and college athletics where, programs are losing a lot of money.
And we don't get a scan count number anymore on Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. You know why?
Why is that?
It's not publicly owned anymore.
Oh, that's true.
It's universities. They don't have to give you any number.
That is a good point. I forgot about that. So,
just like the Grizzlies don't have to give a scan count number.
That's right.
They own the building.
That's right. Yeah, that is interesting.
Ole Miss and Tennessee and Alabama and everybody else around here don't have to because they own the stadiums.
Yeah, that is true. I forgot about that.
We used to get the football scan count.
No, I
and
remember.
it was always whopper jaw.
Sure, but definitely, when you are when you're in an athletic department and you are looking at your finances and you've budgeted this amount of money and you come up that much short, a $1.2 million deficit, it's definitely something to look at and definitely a big number to see come out earlier today. Jason Munns was all over that this morning, putting that number out, and was at the board of trustees meeting this morning. He'll be with us on Friday.
And no public, no availability by Ed Scott afterwards.
No, but that didn't really surprise me.
I don't blame him. Right now, I would wait until the season's over. Now, I do not. If Coach Hardaway was right on Sunday in saying that he has not discussed and has not met with him about anything around his job, I think that's negligence.
Sure. Yeah. No, but I think, I know I saw a lot of people talking about that on social media today about how he didn't talk to the media, but, I think you knew most of the questions were not going to be about what he presented today to the Board of Trustees and what's he going to say with two regular season.
You ride this out now to one big catch-all availability.
And that's what he said when he told him he wasn't gonna talk to them. He said that he would at the end of the season would obviously do a press conference and answer all the questions. So we'll definitely be looking out for that when that happens. But no actual questions being asked, answers from Ed Scott today. But we've got a busy show, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Matt Infield. He usually joins us on Tuesday. Nice enough though to join us this afternoon. He'll join us in our next segment. We'll talk a lot of Tigers. We'll get his thoughts on Tiger basketball, the news this morning with that $1.2 million deficit, what he expects tomorrow night and on Sunday in the final regular season game with the conference tournament right around the corner. Will be a lot of Tiger talk with Matt Infield. 3:45, we'll talk some college basketball, some fun games, some interesting things
more
happening.
Scoreboard updates.
We'll have to get to some more scoreboard updates. At that point, we'll be close to another game starting. I think we got a 4 o'clock game this afternoon as well. So we'll definitely scoreboard watch and give some updates there, but plenty to talk about when it comes to college basketball. 4 o'clock, we'll stay right there with college hoops. Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16. He'll join us to talk college basketball in the SEC as there were some fun games last night around the SEC, some good ones again tonight, and we are getting a better look at what the conference tournament will look like for the SEC. 4:30, we'll talk the Grizzlies as they were losers last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but that really wasn't the news of last night or even today, as we got an update on Zach Edey following his surgery, and we got some news of Omax getting a standard contract, Ryan Rupert being added to a two-way, so we will talk about that at 4:30. We'll get some other NBA as well during that segment. 4:45, we get the big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. He'll join us, talk college basketball with Kevin. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The Floor Model Spa Sale, it's going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display model in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. Have you been dreaming about a new spa? Well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month and over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchased. $8,000 spas only $159 a month with free LED lights and waterfalls available on most models. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. our producer, is Landon, and we are Sports Time, and we're live and we're local and with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be with us by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Always from our Family Leisure Studios. In this hour, every day, first hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis, a long-time partnership and friendship that we have with Lexus, and we appreciate it, and they appreciate everyone out in our listening audience. They're at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is the Memphis Grizzlies. Last night, it was a loss for them, but that really was the least important thing that has happened to the Grizzlies over the last 24 hours. That's because last night we got an update on Zach Edey. He will miss the rest of the season with that ankle surgery that he had. I'm assuming surgery happened yesterday. The initial update we got earlier in the week said that no update would be given until after the surgery. So my guess is surgery happened yesterday. When it was done, they put out that. But I think we've all known that we would not see Zach Edey again the rest of the year, and that became fact last night. As now it sounds like, and we talked with DeMichael Cole about it on Monday, it sounds like this is hopefully to try to stabilize that ankle and prevent future injuries. But you look up, that's now 2 surgeries to a big man in his second season that has missed a lot of time. And I think DeMichael even said that when we talked with him on Monday, of kind of the biggest thing that he looks at this is he just missed pretty much an entire season in his second year in the NBA, which, you know, is so big for these young, especially big men, to really start figuring out the league in their first and second years. And he really just lost that this season. So he'll get the full rest of the year, the full off season to get back from that ankle. And a lot of people will be eager to see what he looks like starting next season. But it is really unfortunate that he just has not been out there at all this season. Then today, the final day to sign anybody to 2-way contracts, the Grizzlies, with a couple games left on his 2-way, went ahead and signed Omax to a standard contract, taking him off that 2-way, and in his place adding Ryan Rupert, whose 10-day ran out after last night's game. So now he will be added to a 2-way. He'll stick with the team, Omax, on a multi-year contract. Obviously, we don't have the contract details to that, so we don't know what that really means with the multi-year contract, but he will at least be with the team for the rest of this season, and we'll see what the rest of this year looks like for the Grizzlies, with feels like a lot more losses coming as they try to put themselves in a good spot for the upcoming draft.
My top story, all-day college basketball. I don't know that any of these tournaments or any of these teams playing in these tournaments today are going to go on a run and win a game in 2 weeks in the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow ramps it up. I would, even as much as I like this week and the emotion of largely one-bid leagues, I would still limit these tournaments. I don't think a lot of these places are making any money. The notion of today, I'm trying to find a tournament game of a big throng of Eastern Illinois fans road tripping to wherever they're playing SIU Edwardsville. That's a distant past tournament idea thing. No, and at the bigger places next week, a lot of those places are judging, especially with $3 gasoline now again, and the economic factors we all are enduring. You know, let me save that cash and go the next weekend to the NCAA tournament, and then let me wait to Sweet 16. It's just not the profit maker that it used to be. I don't like all 16 being invited to the SEC. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think there will be 25 people from South Carolina in Nashville next week for the SEC tournament. South Carolina shouldn't be there. Anybody 13, 14, 15, or 16, and I already can hear people going, "Oh, Brett, you got to give everybody an equal chance. You had a chance. The season started November 3rd.
Yeah, no, it's been a really long season, and now we get to this part. But hey, March is where everyone starts believing. No matter what team it is, that's when people start believing, and maybe some of those dreams will come true over the next couple of weeks.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is college basketball as well, but it's going back to last night and looking at some of these bubble teams that got big wins, especially you look at Joe Lunardi's last 4 byes, and these teams that really need to keep winning to avoid really being in danger on the bubble. TCU with a big win last night over Texas Tech. UCLA with a massive 20-point home win over Nebraska.
They got on Nebraska early.
Very, very easy. And then Texas A&M with a big win last night over Kentucky. That's his last 3 in his last 4 byes. Tonight, SMU at home with a big game against Miami. So it's been fun with 3 of those teams already picking up wins. SMU going tonight. We'll see what they can do if they can make it 4 for 4 in that group. But this is the time when you only have a couple games left in the season to really keep an eye on what these bubble teams are doing, who can get in there and become that last team off of the bubble. You also had Auburn with a win last night
SMU
over
at
LSU.
Moody tonight, right?
That's right, yeah, home game for them. So this is the time to keep an eye on those bubble teams.
Can you believe how alive Moody is?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome.
That place was just
it's they
nowheresville for a long time.
They did what they needed to do, and it's really paid off for them.
My not top story: Grizzlies tonight downtown at FedEx Forum. I'm going. I hope I see you there. It's a must-lose game. The Grizzlies have to lose this game tonight. If they don't, they're only 3 back in the all-important loss column of Portland. Must lose to Portland tonight. And now, and if you don't want to get in that 10 spot. And there's 13, including tonight, there's 13 more games left for the Grizzlies at home this year. That's about a third of your home schedule all year.
Yeah.
We have played 2 out of the last 3 years in some of the more meaningless home games and road that you can ever imagine.
Yeah. No, it hadn't been great, and it's not going to be great tonight with 2 teams both trying to lose. Another good old-fashioned tank-off between Portland and the Grizzlies. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break. When we return, we're talking Tigers. Matt Infield from Action News 5. He joins us next.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
It's often said that eggs are nature's perfect food. They're good and good for you. So why not have the perfect food cooked the perfect way by Sunrise? Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar specialize in not only cooking eggs perfectly, but cooking them perfectly any way you want, fast, fresh, and just for you. Be honest, a lot of the time you really crave a breakfast made by people who really know what they're doing and genuinely care about your experience. And that's something you'll always find at Sunrise.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Meet Morgan Jones. Morgan is about to step into a world unknown to most, thanks to Progressive's Renters Insurance. a place of fresh linens and turn-down service. You see, Morgan temporarily vacated her apartment and has gone to a hotel because a pipe burst in her apartment. A pipe that made her sense of reality and apartment ceiling all come crashing down. Luckily, Morgan checked into Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to crank up pretty good in certain sections of the Midtown area, especially on 240 southbound here at South Parkway. Now, the furthest south you go at Memphis, we did see some radar down in DeSoto County a little bit earlier as it builds down through there in South Haven. On 55 going southbound, again, south of Memphis, watch your speed. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. You always save a lot of money when you shop at Weimer's Jewelry. Stop by there first. You'll be surprised. 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some Tigers. Joining us now, like he does every week, Matt Infield from Action News 5.
We'll take him any day.
That's right. Usually with us on Tuesdays, but nice enough to join us this afternoon on a Wednesday. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to discuss, but let's talk about this Tiger team. The losing streak continued into the weekend on the road against East Carolina, a game that a lot of people thought was going to be the most winnable game. Maybe even when conference season started, people said even on the road against East Carolina, that should be one of the more winnable games on the schedule. They go out there, they get beat by double digits. What did you make of that performance on Sunday?
Yeah, that was kind of the Steelers to me in terms of, I don't know any other way to put it other than this season, as far as any high-end outcomes go, is over. And if that was not going to be the case, then I would need to see a much different result than I did Sunday. But that's one of the worst teams in the conference, and you went on the road and, save for the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game, just absolutely whooped up on them. Memphis had no answer. East Carolina led by double digits the entire game. Jordan Riley posterized Tierno Stilla into 2027. Just about as bad as it gets. And, yeah, this team, I hate to say it, but this team's cooked. And I don't know how you can watch what happened on Sunday, and obviously over the last 6 games, but Sunday really kind of the cherry on top of what has become a completely lost season. Now it's just a matter of when that lost season officially ends.
And Matt, on Sunday night on Action News 5, in your editorial, your 2 cents, and they really, really good stuff. And you lay out some great cases. Almost changed my mind on a lot of things, and not much changes my mind at 63 years old, man. And you laid out the case of Penny Hardaway should not be fired after this season. And your tweet said, I don't think Penny Hardaway should be fired. I believe he deserves some benefit of the doubt. Please explain for our audience.
Yeah, it's just, I think that we live in a world where short-term memory is king, and a lot of people, and I get it when you're living in this moment right now where this season is a complete disaster, you don't have to rewind 12 months to what I think a lot of people would say was Penny Hardaway's probably best coaching job and the best roster he put together, and sweeping the conference regular season and tournament championships last year. And I get it; they lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. He also did have a real point guard available in that game. Tyrese Hunter takes a fluky step in the conference tournament semifinals, and suddenly people forget. I know Dante Harris wasn't there that long. I don't know if people see what Dante Harris is doing over at Tennessee State under former Memphis assistant Nolan Smith this year. What a year those guys have had. Dante Harris is a good player. I think that even having Dante in the NCAA tournament last year in Tyrese Hunter's absence might have made a pretty big difference. So I can't really hold that result against Petty too much, especially when PJ Haggerty also wet the bed for the most part in that game. So. And this year, I think the biggest problem is, above all, the roster, and I think the roster was put in a hole because they were trying to hold on to Haggerty and Dane Deja, the two best players from last year. And once neither of those guys came back, I just think that it was probably too big of a hole to dig out of, that late in the portal is trying to find impact players, and this is the result. So, don't get me wrong, though. I still stand by. I think Petty should get another year. And
I'm with you. I'm with you.
People could say, well, if he wasn't Penny Hardaway, would he be fired by now? The answer is probably yes. But you know what? He is Penny Hardaway.
That's right. He is.
The entire equation.
That's why he got hired in the first place.
Right, and that will never not be the case. That has to change the equation any way you look at it.
Brian are right there with you. Now, here is the tough next step. And Monday we had callers, and we've had a lot of interaction. I've had a lot of interaction on and off there with people. Where are we a year from now, Matt? And the college football, we always have that number. He's got to win 7. He's got to win 8. Where are we a year from now?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I said that while I think Petty should be back, I also understand the other side of it, and people who want him gone, I get it. I'm not going to push back too incredibly hard on it, and I think that everyone is probably unanimous that if next year looks like this or anything close to this, he'll be gone. So what does next year have to look like for him to keep going for year 10, assuming he wants year 10, which is crazy that it's been that long already.
Now, next year would be year 9, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Would it? Okay, yeah, sorry, correct. But either way, close the end on a decade.
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, I think that conference championship in some form or fashion, whether it's tournament or regular season.
I agree with that.
You have to
one or the other.
You have to be very strongly in the ballpark for it, and you have to be a serious contender for both of those, and be in the conversation, I think, for an NCAA tournament bid, and as one of the better mid-major programs in the country, which I know Memphis fans hate being called mid-major, is just the reality of playing in the American Athletic Conference. They are kind of by definition a mid-major, even if the history has more luster to it than your typical mid-major. But yeah, you got to be one of the best non-power conference teams in the country, and you have to be very strongly in the mix for at least one of those championships. It has to be much closer on the spectrum to last year than this year. Otherwise, he'll be gone. I don't think there's any arguing that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Brett and I discussed it yesterday. You look at this roster and the guys that have eligibility remaining. How many of those guys do you bring back? Do you bring any of them back? Do you just nuke this roster and start over again? How do you look at it with some of these guys that have eligibility remaining? What would you do?
No, I don't think you nuke the roster, which is crazy because, given what this season looked like, you would probably want to, on the surface, just say, no, we need to rip the Band-Aid off completely. But I think that nuking rosters year over year is kind of how they got in this position to begin with. Last year it was one returner in Nick Jourdain, and even you look at, obviously they had better players at the top end of the roster, but you look at the results of last year, that this year a completely new roster, and I don't think it's a coincidence that it's a brand new group that came together very late. They didn't have the summer to gel and practice together, and I think you're seeing the results right now. I've said all year, I sound like a broken record, Bedford and Givens, I'm bringing them back as long as they want to. Memphis kids, 2 year of eligibility left. Can both fill a role. Neither are stars. That's fine. Bedford is absolutely a star in his role. I love watching him play, man, because he plays so freaking hard every possession, and just a bull in the china shop on the offensive glass. It's someone who really cares. And Givens, as a secondary ball handler, and someone who can score and facilitate a little bit. Like, that's a valuable role too. Beyond that, you can talk me into Bradshaw. I'm probably on the fence on that, but you can talk me into it with. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We were too.
Yeah. It's not. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, back in December, I probably would have said, he can be gone. But with the way he performed for the start of conference play, up until he has dislocated his elbow, I think that there's an argument there. I don't know how much. It's a very open question. How much of the coaching staff is back next year? I know that the coaching staff loves Majak, and I know Majak hasn't performed up to par. You got to remember, he is incredibly raw just across the board. But I know they think very highly of his character, and it's just a matter of how much he can develop and how much he can. I said, put him in the gym all summer, have him eat nothing but chicken and rice, and put on like 20 pounds and see what that looks like. So I think those are. I'm definitely sold on Stenford and Gibbons coming back. Bradshaw, I'm probably 50-50 on, and there's an argument for Majak as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair for all of those guys. I know we usually talk Tigers with you, but your alma mater is USF, and obviously they've already wrapped up the regular season conference championship with that win on Sunday over Tulane. I mean, the job that athletic department has done, with bringing in Coach Hodgson and what he has done just in year one. I mean, you've got to give them a ton of credit. Now, really knocking it out of the park with back-to-back hires in basketball.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about what the program has been through over the last 24-plus months, because, I mean, first they nailed the Amir Abdul-Rahim hire, and then obviously he dies suddenly and tragically out of nowhere, basically, and they get put in an impossible situation because that happens right before the season last year. Last year was a bit of a gap year, and I'm sure really a year for everyone to kind of wrap their head around what had just happened and try to, grieve and process it. And then they hire Hodgson, and he has delivered and then some. So, yeah, that athletic department has done a terrific job, and with different athletic directors now too. Previously, Michael Kelly is now at Navy, and now we got Rob Higgins, who I think his official title is CEO of athletics. But for all intents and purposes, he is the athletic director. And yeah, it's I'm glad that the university has really kind of started to flex its muscle and made smart decisions, because there's no reason that school is not one of the premier, again, non-power conference athletic departments in the country. It's in a great location. Tampa is a city that a lot of people are attracted to. It's a great state for sports. So yeah, I don't want to see. Listen, it's my alma mater. I'm always going to root for them to succeed above basically anything. And, thinking about the journey they've been on over the last couple of years, to win it with AAR, to lose him, and then to win it first year as Hodgson is pretty cool for sure.
Yeah.
Matt, should South Florida be superior to Central Florida, athletic and sports?
Of course. UCF nothing. Come on, man.
Said a proud of
garbage.
Matt,
UCF's garbage, man.
No bias in there at all.
Coach Penny Hardaway this week has expressed on a couple occasions that he feels like during his time at Memphis that he has had mistreatment. Do you think he has had mistreatment?
Yeah, that was an interesting quote. I think locally, no. No, the local media, for what I've seen here, absolutely not. I think it's been very, very fair to him. Nationally, I don't know what he's paying attention to nationally. And this is the point that Doc Holliday, my boss, made yesterday, is that, there are a lot of people out there nationally that are saying things that don't understand the dynamic of Memphis and the city and Petty's relationship to it. So I'm sure Petty has heard plenty, and obviously, Petty is in, I imagine, circles outside of Memphis, nationally, just given his brand and his reputation as a player. So I'm sure he hears things nationally that kind of tick him off in that regard. Locally, he is not a victim at all. And even, it's crazy, I felt like I was one of the few media members, relatively. Maybe, I think I was in the minority on Sunday night when I said I think he should keep his job, and I still had at least one angry viewer saying I was being mean to him, and I'm like, I don't know about this.
What did you listen to? Yeah,
I was like, I think I'll be pretty fair to him, and there are a lot of people out there that are taking the opposite side of this situation. So, no, those comments were interesting. nationally, I think that maybe he has a point. I don't really pay attention to a whole lot of what the national media is saying about Memphis because I'm right here. I live it. And
Nor do I. Is there, without naming names, is there anybody out there really after him nationally that I don't know about?
At the moment, I can't speak to it. I mean, his name's coming up in. I've seen a couple of national articles where his name is coming up in, coaching hot seat, circles and whatnot. But like that's not really unfair when you have this season. Again, I don't think it's going to result in him being fired. But like when you have this season at this school, that's not totally unfair. So yeah, I don't really know what he's referencing to there. I do think that the local media, at the very least, has been very fair to him.
Yeah, no, I think they absolutely have. Well, Matt, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
See you tonight, Matt.
Yeah, we'll see if we're talking next week from Birmingham or not. We'll be a couple days ahead. Appreciate it, fellas.
You got it.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Matt Infield joining us like he does, usually on Tuesdays, but nice enough to join us on a Wednesday afternoon.
I think you're more in tune with the Twitter machine than me. Sometimes you can get.
I'd say so.
But sometimes you don't live at it.
Oh, no.
It's not your ever being. I like that.
Sure.
I'll leave names out. Do you see anybody out there going in deep?
No. I mean
one of the biggest college basketball writers in the country is based in Memphis, Tennessee, and without I don't read it, don't know every sentence he's written, but I don't think Gary Parrish is after him.
No. I mean, I certainly, especially with college basketball, I keep up with a lot of the national guys and kind of what they're saying, and I really haven't seen. I
hear Mike DeCourcy on these airwaves with Dave, and he's certainly not after him.
I mean, I would say I know a lot of people have.
If you don't have Gary and you don't have Mike DeCourcy after you, who the heck's left nationally?
I mean, I know one name that's always been floating around
Goodman.
since it's Goodman, but I mean,
isn't he after everybody?
But he's not even after. I reading what he says in his tweets and different things, and listening to what he says. Like it doesn't even feel like he's. I mean, he's just saying, hey, this is a coach that has underperformed, and it might be time to make a change. And I know Matt Infield pointed out a lot of these hot seat stories, and I just looked it up, and I really haven't had enough time to really read it. Matt Norlander is really the only national one that I haven't read in terms of hot seat. I know Kevin Sweeney had one a couple weeks ago. ESPN, I forgot who wrote that one, but ESPN had a hot seat. All of them are saying, and Kevin Sweeney's didn't even have Penny Hardaway on the hot seat. It had him in a different category.
We got Kevin in an hour. We'll ask him if he's after him.
Sure,
I bet he's not.
He's definitely not. But even in his, even not even putting him on the hot seat, but just putting him in kind of that name to watch, he said, probably not going to happen, but, things are not great there.
Now look, Penny Hardaway's always been super sensitive. He just has been. That's the truth, people.
Yeah.
And if seeing your name on a hot seat list thinks people have been after you, I think that's being overly sensitive.
But we don't know if that's what it is or not.
But
we're just
assuming
from
the beginning.
Sure, he has. Well, and I will say, when he did get the job, there was a lot of people that were nationally that were negative on it, but it was not on him. It was
negative question, negative skeptical,
negative skeptical, negative on him getting the job, negative. But it was more because of Tubby got fired and the respect that everyone had around Tubby. But when Penny Hardaway
he had been an AAU coach in it
exactly. But what I'm saying is we say from the start, people were negative on him at the start nationally because of what you just said. Okay. And so when he says from the start, if he's talking nationally, there have been people that have been on him from the start.
I think I'm beating a dead horse. Negative going in deep or negative? I just don't know if he can do this or not.
No, not going in deep at all. But I think whether it's going in deep or not, if you're just getting into college head coaching and you see online from a national guy that you've never met saying Penny Hardaway can't do this job, it probably doesn't feel great.
Let me tell you what was brutal. When Bill Curry got hired at Alabama.
I look, I'm not saying he's gotten treated terrible or bad or anything.
Because to a lot, especially back then, that was hiring a pretty big rival. Georgia Tech, Drown the Jackets is in the fight song.
Yeah.
And they hired a Georgia Tech coach.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, but I do I do understand.
Send the Yellow Jackets to a watery grave, not drown the Jackets.
But I do kind of, if you kind of look, I can see a little bit where he's coming from when he says some of those things. But we need to get to another break. When we return, we're going to talk some college basketball. A lot of storylines coming out of last night, some more taking place tonight as well. We'll discuss it all next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Running a business is hard enough, but cleaning a business, your time's too valuable for that. You need High-Low Commercial Services, dedicated professional cleaners with 15 years of cleaning experience. High-Low customizes your cleaning needs, and you get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. Shopping center, retail spaces, medical, legal offices, High-Low cleans it all. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That is MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Men, if you're tired of relying on pills and want lasting, natural performance in the bedroom, Bluff City Health and Wellness offers Apex RF. Backed by clinical research, this discreet 15-minute, non-surgical treatment boosts blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Appointments are filling fast. Call Bluff City Health and Wellness today at 901-800-7606 or take the ED quiz at bchwonline.com. Bluff City Health and Wellness, your confidence in the bedroom naturally.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, back into Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you. We only have a couple minutes left in this hour, and this news just coming out. It broke while we were talking with Matt Infield, and we really just saw it during the break. But Lou Holtz, it is being reported, has passed away at the age of 89. So just really sad news there.
For weeks and been in poor health for a long time. And I told you during the break, I don't know if anybody want to listen to it. I could go to midnight just on Lou Holtz, the complex figure, the great coach, and a real friend of Memphis. With playing here with his North Carolina State team in a Liberty Bowl in '73 with his fullback Stan Fritz for the Wolfpack, to a lot of friends here. Our very own late, great George Lapidus and Lou Holtz were very, very, very close. He would come here and play in the Danny Thomas Memphis Classic Pro-Am every year. And with his Arkansas connection, he even built bigger and a lot more friends, recruited players from here. My friend Tommy Christianberry from MUS, one of the great athletes in the history of the city of Memphis and the state of Tennessee. And record summer heat year, 1980, Bryant, and we go out to the Pro-Am, and Tommy, his player, is caddying for him. That probably would violate 93 NCAA rules now, and nobody out there had a dry thread on, and Tommy's caddying for Coach Holtz, but a great coach, offensive wizard. He really was, and one of the great hires ever by Coach Frank Broyles, who really knew how to hire coaches, whether it was Eddie Sutton in basketball or Lou Holtz in football or keeping and fully funding Norm DeBryan in baseball, to Steve Loy in golf. But he recognized for his successor to hire a coach that was 3-11 with the New York Jets in 1 year, and brought him to Fayetteville, and the rest was history. He was great there, and in that very first year, go 11-1 and beat Miami, heavily favored Miami in the Orange Bowl with the players suspended, and really trounced them, and had good years at Arkansas, and then on to Minnesota, and ultimately to Notre Dame, where he won their last national championship in 1988. And I told you, in all the years at Fayetteville, where is Lou going to go? Everybody thought they were going to lose him. Arkansas was going to lose him after the second or third year, whatever year it was that Woody Hayes punched the player, because his deep Ohio roots. So everybody just thought, Woody out, Holtz is going to leave for Ohio State. He didn't. And I was told then that his dream job was not Ohio State. And it was not even, as devoutly and practicing and good Catholic that he was, that it was not even Notre Dame. That his dream job, because he and his wife Beth for years had owned a home in Orlando, he recognized in the 70s, if the right person gets hired at this place and does it the right way, you can build a monster. His dream job was the Florida Gators.
Wow. How about that?
And when it came open, he had re-upped at Arkansas, and in Florida, not even close to what it is now, and what Spurrier made it. I think that Charlie Pell got it in that stretch, but Florida was doing it all wrong for a long time, and he said, if you ever do it right there, you can win everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, just a
great coach.
Really incredible coach. And, one of those coaches, there are a lot of great coaches, but there are not as many that even, 20, 30 years after their prime of coaching, people still talk about them daily. Almost became kind of that pop culture type of figure for college football.
Great speaker.
No, absolutely was. And so, just a really sad news, like you said, kind of knew this was it was moving in this direction, but obviously the news today of his passing.
In the official release from Notre Dame, it has, from the family of Lou Holtz, it says Louis Leo Lou Holtz. Forever, I thought the full name was Louis Leopold. But it is just shortened to Louis Leo from the official family.
I probably would shorten it too. It's a lot of.
He was tough. He was tough, and he was tough on his players. I had a good friend of mine, Tom Rystrom, played quarterback, and famously was the last starting starting quarterback in Coach Frank Broyles' coaching tenure in the '76 season against Texas. So he was part of the holdover team. He said 3 springs with Lou Holtz. Left wrist surgery, right knee surgery, and left shoulder surgery in 3 springs. That's how physical they were.
Yeah, it really was. So definitely sad news again. Lou Holtz has passed away at the age of 89. But let's go ahead and wrap up this first hour, get to a break. When we return, we're going to talk some more hoops. We're going to talk a lot of SEC basketball. Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16. He joins us next.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at codesdispensary.com. That's codesdispensary.com. Sportstime.com.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad, or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. I'd sure love to see you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic right now coming off 240 onto 385 going outbound on Bill Morris Parkway. Watching that crank up pretty good out towards Collierville. We did see units running radar a little bit earlier as you make your way I-40 out in parts of Fayette County, especially just past 269 there on 40 going east. Watch your speed. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. Stop by right now and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Memphis's original sports station. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Wednesday afternoon. We got to talk some college basketball. Got to talk some SEC basketball. Blake Lovell from the Southeastern 16. He joins us now. Blake, thanks so much for joining us. A lot to talk about as we're getting closer and closer to Selection Sunday. Obviously, the SEC tournament next week. A lot of results from last night to discuss, but let's start start with the win by Texas A&M at home against Kentucky. Texas A&M, a team, you look around at a lot of these bracketologies, they're right there on the bubble. They get the home win, so a big win for them. On the other side, this Kentucky season just continues to just get weird. It feels like a roller coaster for them. One game will be really high, next game will be really low. What did you make of that game and kind of where these two teams are heading into the final week of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was, like you said, sort of just exactly what we've come to expect. I feel like from Kentucky this season, there's just been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, and meanwhile, it's kind of been the same for A&M when it comes to the past little bit. I mean, they were just sort of in a position, I thought, going into that game where, you know, as we always say, it's not just your resume, it's the resume of teams around you. And luckily for A&M, I think even heading into yesterday, like the more I looked at their resume, I'm like, they're not in bad shape here because there weren't exactly impressive ones around them. And so now that they got that win, I think, you know, it gives them a nice boost here, especially, again, if you compare them to the teams that they're going to be compared with by the committee. And so I thought that was a big one for them just to get a nice sort of signature win, which is what they needed this time of year. I mean, meanwhile, for Kentucky, you know, again, I think they're right there. And, guys, we were looking at this yesterday. If you take these four teams I'm about to tell you, Kentucky, Louisville, St. John's, and BYU back in October, 1st of November, and I'd have told you, give me the seed line for those four teams, we probably all would have said, anywhere from maybe a 2 or 3, maybe 4 at worst. I mean, these are all 6 to 7 seeds right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of fascinating. So it's been that kind of season for the Cats, and I don't know that it's going to help that they play Florida on Saturday.
Last night was kind of the Powerball winning night for Arkansas, not even playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the way you needed it to go. And, you know, Alabama loses at Georgia. That certainly helps out a bit. And, you know, it's kind of a scenario now where, you know, I mean, Alabama plays an Auburn team on Saturday that has to win. I mean, there's no other way around it. Like, Auburn has to win to have a shot to get into the NCAA tournament, I think. And, you know, I think for Arkansas, just the most important thing is in the SEC tournament getting that double bye because, you know, there's just too many things that can kind of be out of your control once you're elsewhere. And I don't mean that Arkansas is going to miss the tournament, but you guys know, we've talked about it many years, like what John Calipari thinks about the SEC tournament or any conference tournament. It hasn't changed.
Not much.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just really not changed all that much. So I think from that perspective, like having the double bye is very important for them. Just because, you know, they are one of those teams, I think, that is still within distance of getting a number 4 seed. You know, they're going to be probably around that 5 line right now for a lot of people. But I think when you look at their remaining opportunities, Texas and Missouri, that'd be a good combination of wins. And I don't really think the teams around them necessarily have that combination of wins left. So I think that's another kind of thing in Arkansas's favor if they can come out and play well tonight against the Longhorns.
Blake Bryant's got to flag the tape 2 days in a row. A compliment for John Calipari coming from me.
Wow.
I do have to give him credit, though. If you can get him to Saturday of the SEC tournament, he gets very interested. Yeah. He's just not interested on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Right, that's the thing. So you want to get him as close to Saturday as you can without having to play a game. And, you know, that's where you love to be able to have that extra rest, you know, which, again, sometimes can be a good thing or a bad thing. But I do think, again, when you look at, I think he's done a really good job this year. And I think that's the thing that probably isn't going to be looked at enough just because, I mean, right now, I don't know how you give Coach of the Year to anyone other than Todd Golden. I mean, they've just been that dominant. And to do it, I mean, right, just to do it without guys that we thought were going to be the reasons why they stumbled this year, potentially. And it just hasn't mattered. So I think Todd Golden has to be the Coach of the Year right now. Credit to Mark Byington, credit to Bucky McMillan and those guys. But, I mean, to me, it, you know, as good as Arkansas has been, I mean, I think you could certainly put Cal in that conversation if they were to finish the SEC 13-5. So
and credit, I know what happened last night, but credit to Dennis Gates, credit to Mike White. And Dennis Gates, doesn't he kind of serve, you're looking for any ray of hope if you're Chris Beard and Chris Jans. 2 years ago, Dennis Gates goes 0-18, loses in Nashville. That was 0-19, back-to-back tournaments. Aren't you kind of with your AD and going to your people and going, I know this year was, I've used the word pathetic for Chris Beard and Ole Miss, and I'll use it for Jans and State, but don't give up on me. We can turn it around.
I just think it's, I mean, and I think even Kentucky's a pretty decent example of this. Like, there's just way more volatility these days. And, I mean, I saw the stat yesterday. I'm sure you guys saw it. Someone had put it out there about how there were, I think it was 22 players at the power conference level that had started with a school and celebrated their senior night with the same place. 22.
Yeah. Wow.
And, I mean, it's just like...
It's out of a lot of players.
Right. That's just a remarkable stat. And so I think, again, you understand the volatility that exists when you're bringing in a new roster every year. And so, you mentioned the Missouri example. Like, that was a year where you could tell, and they knew it, as they were going through the season, they're thinking, okay, we planned for this, we planned for that, but we didn't plan for, let's say, 3 or 4 of our key guys having injuries. We didn't have enough depth. And that's just something you can't fix in the course of the season. You can't fix, I think, some of the issues that Ole Miss has had when it comes to, I think, just a basic, hey, guys are hit or miss. Some guys have hit, some guys have missed, and you're just going to get that. And the same with Mississippi State. So I feel like that is something where, and I mean, I even think, we've had the conversation, right, about LSU and South Carolina and Oklahoma. Are they going to make changes? And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if you do make those changes, you better have a really good plan in place, because if you don't, making change just to make change, I don't think is the recipe for success these days. And so it's going to be interesting, I think, with teams like that. I don't think Beard or James are going anywhere unless they decide to take other jobs. But, the other 3 we've talked about a lot. It could still be kind of interesting.
Almost the same applies here for Penny, and both Bryant and I. Almost every guest we've had on nobody is in the fire Penny. Nobody wants him embarrassed. We're all for doing it next year with modifications, with changes, and he knows all that, and he's going to try that. Because you don't know this, Blake. We don't know that the next guy, for as bad as it is this year at Ole Miss, bad as it is this year for the Tigers, if you lost your mind, you fired everybody and replaced, you don't know that next year might not be 8-23.
Well, and I think, again, that to me, like, even the volatility doesn't just apply to the rosters necessarily. Like, I think it's one too where it's like, look at, go find the team that's ranked 50th right now, and who's the coach? I guarantee he's had some success. Sure. Like, Scott Drew and Baylor are 15-14 this year. And it's just like, I mean, he's just one example, right? He's got a longer track record, but like the point is that I just think no matter who you are, like, there is no guarantee that you're not going to go out and spend a lot of money on your roster or whatever you have available and still be able to confidently say, I know this is going to work. And it's just, yes, Duke's going to probably usually have a higher probability to be okay there. Like the teams that we've seen, Michigan in this era, Houston, like all these others, of course, those are the outliers. And you just don't ever expect them. You could give Kelvin Sampson, the 100th most expensive roster, and he's still going to win a lot of games. But I think when you're looking at, again, situations like this, whether it's Penny, whether it's anybody else, I mean, it's just a matter of, can you get the guys you need? You're going to always, I think, swing and miss on some guys. And, does that wind up being the difference year in and year out? And I think right now you could ask some coaches and they'd say, absolutely. The reason we didn't get that guy, he's why we're sitting here at 15-14, or 12-17. Like, it's just, I think that's exactly, the case. And it doesn't always mean that a guy is, a bad coach, because we've seen them, like you said, Brett, make some changes in recent years that have been for the positive, but just happened to be one of those seasons.
Yeah. You mentioned Todd Golden a second ago. Florida got another big win last night at home over Mississippi State. That was without Thomas Houck on the court, and they still were able to do that. When you look at where Florida is at right now, I heard some other people having this conversation earlier today. Most bracketologies have Florida as a 2 seed, kind of the top 2 seed in their brackets, with UConn right in front of them as that final number 1. Obviously, those two teams played back in November in non-conference play. Could you make an argument based on the way that Florida has been playing down the stretch that they should be, or at least should have an argument to be a number 1 seed over UConn? Or is it just that non-conference loss back in November that big when you have those two teams right next to each other?
If Florida wins in Kentucky, and goes on to win the SEC tournament. Let's just have a hypothetical scenario. And UConn wins at Marquette on Saturday, the 10-19 Golden Eagles, and then goes on and wins the Big East tournament. I don't think there's any debate that Florida's resume is considerably better than UConn.
Yep.
And yes, you could say they lost the game many months ago, but it's not all about that to me. I think it's much more about what is your resume overall, and whether we like it or not. I know it's not the official stat anymore of the last 10 games, but if you're telling me and I'm the committee and I'm saying, all right, here's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a Florida team that has been basically invincible over the past month, entering your NCAA tournament, versus a UConn team that has lost at home to Creighton. They've lost at St. John's, who, you want to talk about a team we could spend an hour on. St. John's is 24-6, and I don't know that I've been less impressed with a 24-6 team in a while. And so I think it's just like, it's stuff like that where I'm thinking there's no way to me that if that winds up being the scenario, that Florida should not get the last one seed. And I'm not just saying that as the SEC guy. Like, you just look at the body of work, it's way more impressive, I think, than UConn's body of work. And even though they did play that game, it was months ago. And when you think about the quality win opportunities left available, UConn doesn't have that many in the Big East. Florida's still got quite a few in the SEC. No matter who they play in the tournament, they're going to probably get at least 2 NCAA tournament teams somewhere, maybe 3. And so I think that just, to me, is much more in Florida's favor. And like it or not, analytics play into this. They love Florida more. And how you win also plays into this. And Florida is just absolutely throttling teams right now.
Yeah, they are.
And I think that speaks for something, too.
So if Florida, if they were that, in your hypothesis, if they were the 1, would UConn be the 2 in that regional?
That would be probably the thinking, is that...
You know who wants that then for motivation? Hurley
Yes, of
has
course.
to come apart.
Well, and that's the thing, is if Florida keeps playing the way they're playing right now, I mean, Duke is still going to be probably favored. Michigan, Arizona, they're all going to have, very good odds, I think, to win the national championship. But I'll be honest, guys, like I've watched all these teams too, and I don't know that at their best that Florida isn't the best team in the country. I think that when you look at the way they played right now, and that's where that would absolutely feed into Florida's going for back-to-back, and wouldn't it be fitting that UConn is the team that's trying to stop that? So.
And you bring that up, Brett, you know who UConn lost to last year in the tournament. It was Florida, and he freaked out after that loss.
Isn't this the easiest motivation ever handed? A great coach and a great team, and they're not that removed from back-to-backs?
No, I would love that.
He would love it. Blake, last year the SEC was wide and deep. This year it's just wide. If Florida, if they don't get to the Final Four, would it take just a hot shooting Alabama? Are they the only other one that really can?
That's my thinking, just because I don't think anyone has that type of style, and we've seen it work before. That's why I was leaning on Alabama, because once again, like, we go back 2 years ago, and I mean, I can't tell you how many people are telling me after Alabama gives up, 117 at Kentucky, they gave up, I think, 105, 102 against Florida.
To Arkansas, even in the overtime win.
I mean, yeah, that's right. They beat Arkansas in overtime. That was a high-scoring game. It's like, I couldn't tell you how many people...
Looks like NBA games.
Exactly. Alabama's got no shot here. Every piece of data that we've ever looked at tells us this team cannot make a run because they don't have the defense. And then I saw Alabama come out and outscore everybody and play a little bit of defense, too, at times. And that got them all the way to the Final Four. So I just can't discount the idea that with the way they play, with the offensive firepower they have, that they can make another run. I can't do it, because I've seen this movie before. And, they also proved they could win a game like they did at Tennessee. Now, that's probably more on Tennessee's offensive struggles, and Nate Amon was hurt and all that. But I think Alabama has proven that they just have a different level that no one else has. And, I mean, the team, to me, that probably the only other one I would put in that category would be Arkansas, because they have Darius Acuff. But I think that's where, to me, the issue for Arkansas, it's going to come down to the matchup, right? And it's the same as
and they just don't defend that well.
That's the thing, is like their ability to defend inside of the arc, I think, can be a real problem. and they don't force enough turnovers outside of it to be able to kind of, make teams uncomfortable. And so I think, to me, that is the biggest issue I have with Arkansas. Is I worry a little bit about the depth in the front court, whereas, if they get a matchup with one of those teams that, there's not a lot of teams like Florida, but when we talk about teams just crash the offensive glass the way they do. And I think, yes, they beat Tennessee. They're the best offensive rebounding team in the country, but Tennessee, to me, again, just offensively, I think just leaves a lot to be desired. So I think Arkansas's got a path, but it would have to come, I think, just in a really, really great setup from a matchup standpoint.
Blake, don't look now, but CBS Sports today put out a story, a bracketology bubble watch, and according to their most recent bracket, Oklahoma now in the next four out category after that win last night over Missouri. So, man, a season saver with a 6-11 record in conference play. They're back on the bubble.
When I saw this on this game last night against Missouri, I was just like, what are we doing here? But you know what? Here's what I said, guys. So 2 years ago, I think I probably told you guys at some point in the conversation, I'm like, I'm kind of hearing some stuff that there are both people in Oklahoma that are just like, this doesn't fit. We're not sure it's a fit for either side, and these next 2 years are going to be really key, or next year is going to be really key. Well, I can't think of a roller coaster of emotions for any other team in Oklahoma the past 2 years. If we consider this, they started 13-0 last year, and then they were 3-10 in the SEC. Then they won the games they had to win to get to 6-12 to make the NCAA tournament, where they lost by 8 to defending back-to-back national champion in UConn. So then they come out this year, they start 11-3, win their first game in SEC play in impressive fashion against Ole Miss, then proceed to lose 9 in a row. And now they've won 5 of 7 to somehow impossibly get themselves back into the NCAA tournament picture. I can't think of a fan base that is just like, just please, someone, just help us here. What are we doing? Are we good? Are we not good? We don't know. And so it's going to make for an interest. I mean, they have a chance to win on Saturday in Texas, and I think there's a decent chance they do it. And so if that happens and they win one of the SEC tournament, 2 maybe, you never say never, because this Oklahoma team is about as hard to figure out the past 2 seasons than anybody else.
Blake, I know you saw it. I saw it last night, especially the court level end zone shot, kind of the camera pointed toward the other area, and you could see vast expanse in the upper reaches of the arena at Oklahoma, and there just wasn't anybody there.
No, and that I think is the biggest problem at all. And yes, if you make the right hire, that can change. But again, it goes back to NIL, and I'm curious, to see if they make the move, which, I mean, at this point, I just don't see how you don't do it unless they do make a somehow improbable run to get to the tournament here. But I just, you're going to have to really, I think, pump the money into this thing. And
get committed.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people like to talk in the SEC about how we're going to do this and how we're going to do that. But, when it comes down to it, I'm not completely sold on that. So, yeah, well, we'll see if Oklahoma, where they would settle maybe if they make a move, how much money they're willing to put into this. Because, yeah, they've got to do something, I think.
Blake, that's such a great point. Every place in the SEC, they present, we're an everything school. We're committed to softball. We're committed to men's and women's golf. We're committed to baseball. Of course, men's basketball, women's basketball, football, all that. They all have that, but we know there are backroom battle royales going on with collectives and funding and NIL. And it's why, and I'm not saying it just because I'm an Ole Miss guy, but I think it helps Chris Beard and should allay fears of Ole Miss fans on commitment, because the athletics director is a basketball guy. You get to that ultimate football school like OU, and Venables in those meetings, I got to win next year or I'm out. To heck with everything else.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you're going to get a similar situation, I think. And like you said a minute ago, I mean, Oklahoma basketball is probably third at best if you're ranking it behind football and softball. I mean, it's just like you think about what the expectations are for programs
baseball
like that.
Might even have a word.
I was going to say, baseball, something too. Like, we have a lot of very engaged baseball fans from Oklahoma, and that's something that may surprise some people. It's really something they're into. And so, Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely something to it. Of course, LSU, we brought that up before. When it comes to Matt McMahon's situation, I mean, the Lane Kiffin effect, I think, is real there. When it comes to, all right, what are we actually willing to put in financially? Because all we're worried about really is football. And, of course, you've got the women's basketball situation. And, baseball is the national champion, and you just keep going down the line, right? And you just get further and further down. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it's one with Oklahoma where I'm kind of interested to see what if that job opens up. What is that perceived as from the kind of candidate pool I think they're going to choose from? Because I don't think they're choosing from the top level power conference coaches out there. I think they're probably going a little bit further down the list there, and I think it'll be interesting to see what that looks like if we get to that point.
Yeah, definitely will be. Last thing for you, Blake, only one SEC game tonight, Texas on the road against Arkansas. What do you expect in that one in Fayetteville tonight?
Well, I expect some fouls because, I mean, that's what Texas does, right? Texas is one of the sneakiest top 8 offensive teams I've ever seen in the history of the sport. I think they're 7th in offensive efficiency or something like that, and it's all on one-on-one, get to the free throw line type of play. And that's just not something, you see a lot of that in college basketball these days, but not a team that just absolutely grinds you in that style. They're one of the best one-on-one teams out there, and of course, Vokatitis gets to the free throw line as much as anybody. And so that's really going to test this Arkansas front court tonight. I mean, they've got to come to play. If they don't, I mean, Texas is streaky enough that, look, guys, we have fun with, we do a gut bracket every week or whatever. Last week we had Texas in the Elite Eight because we're like, hey, they're streaky enough that with the right matchups, offensively, look out. They could go in there and win tonight. But
big time coaching matchup tonight in Fayetteville.
It is. And how does Arkansas bounce back, right? They got embarrassed at Florida. They didn't just lose like some teams lose. They got embarrassed at Florida.
Blake, I got Eddie Sutton versus Abe Lemons in the early 80s in Fayetteville. They get Sean Miller and John Calipari tonight.
It's going to be hot in there tonight, I think.
It's going to be a really fun one.
In the heyday, Nolan would turn the heater up.
Yes. Sean Miller going to be sweating through that one, too, I think.
That's right. Blake, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of this week, and we'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Blake.
Blake Lovell talking college basketball with us next Wednesday, who I bet his schedule might get crazy on us in Nashville.
We'll have to work that one out for sure.
We sure will. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the hometown teams, like the Tigers and like the Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum. If you're going down there tonight, go back into the floor seat lounge and take a look at those beautiful display cases at FedEx Forum at all the Grizzlies games. That great location at 4542 Poplar, in the heart of everything at Poplar and Perkins in Laurelwood, 9,000 square foot store with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, and earrings since 1970, with all the locations across the Mid-South. The Sissies, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts, unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, the Grizzlies, they lost last night. They're back in action tonight at home against Portland. We'll discuss that matchup. We'll also talk about a lot of news coming out from the Grizzlies. We'll do all that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your #1 Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Are you listening? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold. It's only once a year. Act now. 0% APR, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. There's 0 to pay to drive today. Landers Ford in Colliersville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. As reported on
Board's 2025 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market, with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $16.67 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down payment. Interest accrues from inception. Example: 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat. VIN number 1FTFW5L8XSFB43528. MSRP $71,675. Ford bonus cash $1,000. Sale price $70,675. Based on 0% APR financing for 60 months. Price, tax, title, and $695 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 4/2/26.
I don't know. What are you guys doing? Nothing. Gaston, are you doing a Central Barbecue spot because you think if you do a Central Barbecue spot for free, then Central Barbecue will give you free Central Barbecue?
Wow. You already got in 3 mentions of Central Barbecue, and the spot hasn't even started.
That's 4.
3.
4. That's not how it works, Gaston, you Central Barbecue mooch.
That's 5.
Get out.
Hey, I just love Central Barbecue.
You have anything to say for yourself?
Central Barbecue?
So, can I get some free Central Barbecue?
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor, just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good afternoon, T9. Those help trucks are out here already assisting with a couple of disabled vehicles. What we're seeing right now is that traffic starting to get a little bit heavier through certain sections of the Midtown area, especially 240 South and South Parkway. Now, the further south you go of Memphis, we did see radar down through there within the last hour on 55 down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Hey, bridal season, it's just around the corner, so stop by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We got to talk some Grizzlies. They were losers last night on the road against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Back in action tonight at home against the Portland Trailblazers. But last night it was a 117-110 loss against the T-Wolves, a game where the Grizzlies led early, and then down the stretch, you look at that third quarter, outscored 32-20. Two teams tied in the fourth quarter, but that was good enough for the Timberwolves to get that 7-point win. Anthony Edwards was terrific. 41 points for him, 7 for 13 from 3. He added 6 rebounds, 5 steals, doing a little bit of everything for that Minnesota team. They got 14 off the bench from Ayo Dosunmu, who has been a nice addition for them. For the Grizzlies, I thought so definitely some good things. Jalen Wells, 4 for 7 from 3. That's definitely what you want to see from him after some really up and down shooting throughout the season. Cedric Howard returned, gave them 15 points off the bench. So I think you saw a lot of good last night from this Grizzlies team, and ultimately it did result in a loss. But you talk about kind of that tanking mindset. I know a lot of people okay with stacking losses.
That's where we are.
That's kind of what you wanted to see last night from that team.
I mean, if you were a blow it up advocate like I was last year and remained throughout this year, don't get queasy now.
No, definitely not.
This is a time that you just gotta take it. You gotta have a thick hide.
Yeah, no, I mean it's going to be a lot of losses, and certainly.
And you could feel that loss coming a mile away.
Oh yeah, no, it kind of played out how a lot of the when you first started to get in this tanking mindset. It's kind of the same way that a lot of those played out, where hey, you play really well to start the game, and then as the game continues to progress, you start letting that team starts to come back, and then ultimately they get it done at the end. That's kind of how I like to see these games play out.
We did this yesterday about the Tigers. We played GM and roster retention, who we wanted back, who we would keep, and why we wouldn't take. We're going to do it a bunch with the Grizzlies. Yeah. There was a time last week, I went to 2 Grizzlies games last week while I was away. In a couple of those games, I was sitting there privately, quietly thinking, how big a piece of the rebuild really will Jalen Wills be?
That's a good question. I mean, I don't think we don't mention him in terms of that number 1 or number 2. So I mean, I don't think he is a huge part of it.
We're there with 182 Coward.
I guess so. Yeah.
You're reluctantly there.
I mean, he just had his second surgery on his ankle and is out for the rest of the season. I mean, why should I be sold on it?
Impossible to argue with.
I mean, it's just it's unfortunate. Like I wish he would be on the floor. He's looked good when he's on the floor. Problem is, he just hasn't been out there.
Ty Jerome's ahead of Wells, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not sold he's on the roster next year. I mean, I could see that being a deal in the offseason of get rid of him and bring some something in, because he signed a 3-year deal in the offseason, but when they were selling, hey, come be a part of this team in free agency, it wasn't to be a part of a rebuild, and I just don't know how happy he'd be, and I think you could get something for Ty Jerome in return.
Okay, if they're back, bigger piece, Santi or Wells?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think they're right there around each other.
Well, and this is the meetings organizationally that this is the toughest ones to have. You got to get in there, and I'm gonna try to be favorable about Zach Kleiman and his general manager and the management going forward. I'm gonna try to hit amnesia on a lot that's happened. It's not easy, but I'm gonna try. My amnesia button's not real close these days on anything. But I'm going to try. But they've got to get in there and be honest with each other about exactly what they have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's so hard, I mean, in terms of kind of what we did yesterday and then today looking at these guys. Because, I mean, with the Tigers, you can tell everybody, hey, hit the door and enter free agency, and it's okay, what of it? I mean, it's so different with contracts and different things in the NBA, and, what do you do? And
without injury, the Grizzlies would not be at 23 wins.
No. But, I mean, what are they going to go out there and get in the draft? I mean, I'd like to see what they come out of the draft with before, we start answering these questions of
you got to see how the ping pong balls fall.
Yeah, I mean, but even just looking at some of the mock drafts, I've seen a lot of mock drafts that have them going out and getting a forward at that number, whatever that 14, 16, whatever it falls out to be.
Take-a-thon for us and simulate the lottery.
Let's see. So like if they bring in a forward, then I think Santi Aldama's role becomes less because you're going to put a lot more emphasis on that. I'd be fine with Omax returning next year.
I think he's going to.
Yeah, I mean,
with the deal.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know what that multi-year deal looks like, but yeah, I mean, he certainly could be back, and I'd be fine with that because he's not going to be a guy. I mean, he's going to be an into the bench guy, no matter if he's back or not.
We're not doing with Omax what we did with Vince and GG 2 years ago.
Not. No. absolutely not. I mean, I think everybody knows what Omax is. Those two guys, you drafted those guys. They were super young when you brought them in, and they played their way into that contract. Omax, I mean, you just kind of picked him up, and he's playing the role you need him to play.
Great Scott, Portland's 10.5-point favorite tonight.
How about that? I mean,
that's good for a must-lose night.
No, it sure is. I think Portland is a team that
I just now see that all day.
I certainly haven't looked at it, but I mean, I think Portland is a team that they would probably. I think they kind of like winning. I mean, it hasn't really fallen out for them, but I don't think they're super tank mode right now.
I think they just kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would love to win more than they love to lose right now looking at them. But Tankathon, just one sim, still has the Grizzlies at 8 and has them at 17 right now with that Orlando pick. Has them taking Nate Mint at number 8. Has them taking Braden Burries at number 17. So that would be...
We could live with all that, couldn't
we? You said what?
We could like that, couldn't we?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think I'd be fine with
Where's Darius Acuff, before or after the first pick?
Acuff is after. Acuff is at 9.
Okay, I want him. Where's Houck from Florida?
He is
before or after?
Before. He's at 16, so he'd be one spot before the Grizzlies at 7. I saw another, what mock draft did I see earlier today? The Athletic had a mock draft. What do they have? Let's see. They have the Grizzlies taking Mikael Brown Jr. at number 8, with Acuff going one spot before to Dallas, and then at that second pick, does it go all the way down that far? They have the Grizzlies taking Hans Steinbeck, the big man from Washington, at number 17, a 6'11", big.
Might be nice insurance.
It could be. I like Steinbach a lot. I first kind of became on my radar in an exhibition game actually this year. I wouldn't love it, but I would be fine about it. Let's see who's around, and they have Braylon Mullings right after, Yaxel Lindenborg 2 spots lower. Yes, I mean I think that would be an interesting pick at 17 if it is.
You need ASUN score.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But if you got it, I mean, please.
Stetson 40-23 right now. First half over Eastern Kentucky.
Interesting. I got anything?
No, you don't care about that one.
Nah,
What's the next one we care about?
I don't know.
Really care.
I haven't. Probably something at 5 o'clock. I haven't. It looks like 6 o'clock will be on a handful of games, but nothing until 6 o'clock is what it looks like right now. But that could change. That could change at any minute if I get maybe some good intel out there. You never know. But the moves today, you mentioned Omax now on a multi-year deal. Again, don't really know the details of what that means going forward. Ryan Rupert to a 2-way from the 10-day. What'd you make of those moves?
I love it.
Yeah. I mean, Omax has been great, and you've really needed him, especially with the lack of presence in the interior. So I think
I'm just a little jaded by the love we fell in 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, but I still I am not sold that this is a fully guaranteed multi-year deal. I think this is probably the rest of this season's guaranteed, and then next year non-guaranteed.
So I don't need to buy my 32 Rupert jersey?
Certainly not. I'm talking about with Omax.
I'm surprised Rupert made it to today.
I love Rupert. I don't know why I love him.
Wears his jersey in the best style ever. The tailor did the best job with fitting his jersey of anybody on the team.
Interesting. I was telling them...
It's not baggy.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we've gotten away from that look across basketball, but it's not too tight. It's not LeBron tight.
Yeah, no, that's
perfectly.
Yeah, no, I was telling Landon when he signed his 10-day, I love Rupert. I don't know why. Like, for whatever reason, out of his draft, I was big on him, and I have no idea why, but glad he's a Grizzly now. I'm happy to see him out there, and he's playing well, and we'll see what it looks like with him the rest of the way on a 2-way, and obviously Omax with that standard contract now, what that will look like the rest of the way for him, and if he's back next year, it will definitely be something to watch. So, we'll keep an eye on tonight against Portland, like you said, a big underdog. What was that line again for the Grizzlies?
10.5.
10.5 winner. That is shocking, but I guess that's where we're at right now with the Grizzlies.
We don't need to question Vegas, though, do we?
No. I mean, hey,
Who are we to do it, Landon?
But how about this? A 10.5 point underdog, but Memphis in the ESPN Analytics matchup predictor with a better percent chance to win tonight. 50.3% chance to win tonight. So maybe
throwing new math on us there, aren't they?
Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe take Memphis plus the 10.5.
They're just trying to get a handle on the old math.
Yeah,
they do that to us.
I don't know what's going on there. So that is definitely an interesting line for tonight.
Everybody in our area needs to listen up in our area because Landers Ford in Collierville, you can go out there right now and make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your number one Ford dealer, they give you payment relief, new Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. That's a lot of zeros. Are you listening? New F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months, 0 down payments, 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with their Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold out. It's only once a year. Act now. There's 0 to pay to drive today. You can do it first thing tomorrow morning. You still got time the rest of the day. Give them a call to schedule your test drive at Landers Ford in Collierville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Getting engaged is one of life's most spectacular occasions. And when you find your ring at Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your lives brilliantly. Only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
This is Julie Molay-Mary, and I'm with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I wanted to dispel any rumors about Sheldon Rosengarten, also with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, being the worst golfer in town. Is that what you wanted me to say, Sheldon?
Yes, Julie, with your stellar career in real estate in Florida and now here, and you also being the Florida Girls State High School champion, in addition to playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I know people would want your opinion about my golf game.
Well, Sheldon, it's a good thing you're great at real estate because your golf game is underwater, where most of your golf balls end up.
Thanks a lot. You know, people often say that when you want the job done, you call Sheldon.
Yes, but they also say that if someone is wanting to sell a home or buy one, I make it easy, so they call Julie Molay-Mary at 305-0112.
Got it. And you can reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening is coming to the Graceland Soundstage. Saturday, May 9th at 8 p.m. Jason's thunderous drumming recalls one of the greatest to ever sit behind the skins, his late father, John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. This is as close as you will ever get to letting the lead out live. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Get your tickets today at GracelandLive.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brad, I have two big numbers today. One is an NBA big number, and one is a college basketball big number. The college basketball big number I just got after talking with Blake Lovell. It made me go do some research. My first big number, I'll start with the one that I came with, and that is an NBA big number, is the number 40. I saw this earlier today. The bottom 10 teams in the NBA, or if you want to be a glass half full type of person, the top 10 teams in the race for the number one pick have combined to lose 40 straight games. It is really remarkable when you look at some of these teams and the losing that they're doing right now. Sacramento has lost 2 straight. Brooklyn has lost 9 straight. Indiana 6 straight. Washington 6 straight. Utah 6 straight. New Orleans 2 straight. Dallas 4 straight, Memphis 1, Chicago 1, and Milwaukee 3.
That's 40.
You add all that up, that is 40. Also, if you go through and combine all of just the last 10 game records for those 10 teams, they are combined 26 and 75 over their last 10 games. So a lot of losing taking place, and as we expected.
Give me a T, give me an A, give me an N, give me a K.
It is tank for all of these teams, and we'll see. I'm sure it's only going to get worse as we get later in the year.
Why do I trust my spelling more than I do my math skills?
That's a good question.
But tank's pretty easy.
Tank, that makes it a little easy when it's just TANK. My other big number, though, and we were talking about it with Blake Lovell, I heard this conversation. I forgot who I heard talking about it, but the conversation between Florida as the first number 2 seed and UConn as the final number 1 seed. And Brett, you know how much I love Dan Hurley. I mean, I love Dan Hurley, but you look at what Florida's done over these last couple of months.
He has said words that never even entered your mind.
That's right. I love him. I love Dan Hurley. I can't get enough of Dan Hurley. But my big number is the number 2. We talk so much about KenPom and KenPom rankings and the analytics that go into that. Bart Torvik, another site that basically the exact same thing, but on Bart Torvik, you can filter dates and kind of get selected periods of time. So if you go just from the start of January until right now, Florida is the number 2 team in the country, according to Bart Torvik's analytic, and that's the adjusted offense and defensive efficiency, only behind Duke right now. On the other side, UConn is number 12. So Florida playing much better right now over the last 2 months than UConn is playing. You look at what Florida's done, 15-2 in that span. UConn 14-2. But the way that Florida is winning these games, the blowouts, the teams they're playing, much better on Bart Torvik. I'm telling you right now, if I was on that committee, I would absolutely put Florida. If the season ended today and I have to fill out my who's number 1, number 2, Florida, they are the final number 1 seed for me. UConn is number 2.
We had that discussion in the football.
We sure did, and I said the exact same thing. Notre Dame in, Miami out, and now Miami did go on and
they
looked really good, but they sure did. And same thing here with Florida and UConn.
Did play.
But I would put Florida ahead of UConn if we put the bracket out today.
It's not a one-game season even.
No, it's definitely not. In Florida, I mean, we go back. I love how much we all
look the famous Tennessee-Memphis game.
Sure.
Tennessee won the game. Memphis was better.
Did. Yeah,
I know who won.
I mean, even with Florida, I mean, we were all
who had the better year was Memphis.
Sure, no, they definitely did.
And I think Memphis was better. They lost that night though.
Sure, but I mean, you look at this Florida team, and we all freaked out during non-conference when you had those losses. And go back and look at those losses, the deficit they lost by, who they were playing. There was no reason to freak out at that point with the new pieces they brought in. And now in conference play, they have absolutely figured it out. They're playing at a really high level right now. And I think destined for another big-time run in March.
With no injuries, have you identified any team, Landon, you as well, have y'all identified any team that as soon as you get your bracket, you kind of work inside out. You place them in the Final Four and then go all the way to their first round game. Anybody gotten to that point yet?
Mine is Michigan.
You're there with Michigan. I'm there with Michigan. I'm also there with Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certainly teams you can do it for. I don't like doing that, so it's hard for me to say.
I mean, I won't.
It's the anti-Cinderella way to do the bracket.
It is. It is. I haven't, but I mean, those teams you just named, I'd throw Florida in there as well. I mean,
New Chalk City for me again this year.
Yeah, for who?
That's what I feel like it's going to be.
The tournament, the whole thing.
Oh, I thought you meant but who would be your team that you would go from the
Michigan and Duke? I would put them in the Final Four, not the final game, but right now, Final Four, no matter what.
Arizona,
unless there's injuries.
Arizona too?
No, I'm not there on Arizona.
Not on Florida either?
Close on Florida.
Yeah.
Close.
Yeah. What is holding you back right now?
Just need a little time.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, well, you don't got much more time. You got 2 weeks.
I just need a little.
Okay, there you go. Then you get it.
My big number is 131. Good thing we're not centered in and having to look at NCAA net rankings this year. I've probably the least I've looked at RPI or net rankings in my life this year. The Tigers are 131. You always like to say, let's see what neighborhood they're in.
Yeah.
Here's the neighborhood. 1 behind Montana State, 1 ahead of Duquesne.
All right.
Behind ETSU, East Tennessee at 128. Behind William and Mary at 124. Behind Seattle. Elgin Baylor's not walking through that door for Seattle at 118. All right, second one of the day. True or false? Duquesne. Have they ever been one of the 99 teams to make it to a Final Four? Duquesne.
I'm going to say
true or false?
False.
I want to say yes.
True. It is true. Way back.
Way back.
Duquesne Dukes.
I actually, believe it or not.
An old-fashioned book one time told me, called him Duquesne.
Oh, I love that. Brett, believe it or not, I actually looked up the net today. Believe it or not, I
did too.
I pulled up the net. I didn't think I would. I would do it, but I wanted to see, and I really wasn't even looking at the net. I just have this website that is for net, but it is a good place to find all the quad wins and stuff like that. I wanted to see with Miami, Ohio, if they had played a team all season in the top 2 quads, and they have. They played one team in quad 1 or quad 2. It was Akron, a conference game at home.
I'm certain I heard Eli Savoy say that at Ken Palm, Akron ahead of.
Yeah, I believe so.
Ahead of Miami.
They certainly could be. Let's see. We can look that up real quick. Ken Palm, Akron. Akron is. Oh yeah, I believe so. Akron is 62, and Miami, Ohio is 89. Yeah, so well ahead. I mean, almost more than 20 spots ahead.
Significantly.
Yeah, I mean, that is a reflection of their strength of schedule, which is really, really poor this year. I mean, that all goes into effect with Kim Palm. So not a huge surprise to see that. But hey, they're only a couple games or one game. I don't know how many games. I think only one game left in the regular season for them to finish out that undefeated season.
At an 11. How scared should the 6 be of them?
I don't think should be. I think
this is going to just play out.
I think so.
And,
I mean, look,
everybody see it with their own eyes.
I hope they go out there and win. I mean, they certainly are a really good team. I mean, it is hard no matter who you are to go out and have a perfect regular season.
Will they be 11?
So I looked that up. I had a buddy that asked me that today. I looked at all the bracketologies out there. Most have them on the 11 or 12 line. Which if they're 12, that's going to be a very popular pick. You could. I think some 11s do, some 11s don't, but they could. I mean, they're kind of right there in that mix to go to Dayton. And if they become the automatic qualifier, I don't think you can be an automatic qualifier 11 and go to Dayton. I think those are all those 11s are bubbles that go to Dayton. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. It's certainly going to come down to the final game. I mean, that conference championship is going to come down to kind of see where they are.
Are y'all going to even challenge me this year in the bracket contest among us?
Try at least.
Johnny's the only person to ever defeat me.
I mean, I'll be honest, Brett. Like I don't love brackets. I'm not very good at them. I'm not a huge fan of them. But I'm gonna try.
I do one.
I usually just do one, maybe two, but usually it's just one. So we'll see. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my best, but I don't have a lot of faith in myself.
I like hanging that banner.
No, I know you do. Hey, it's a good banner to hang, and I would hang it too if I were you. But we're gonna get to a break here in a second. Before we do, it's a perfect time with all of the action when you've got college basketball, NBA, even baseball about to get started. You want to go have a night out, catch all of these games. Perfect spot. It's Bell Tavern, located at 117 Barbaro Alley. Bell Tavern is the perfect bar for a night out with friends or just to go out and catch a game and hang out by yourself. Not one of those loud, rowdy, obnoxious sports bar. No, it's the complete opposite of that. You can enjoy a night at Bell Tavern with one of their great cocktails in their quiet, dimly lit bar. And it's not just the drinks. Bell Tavern has some of the best food in Memphis. Pair one of their gourmet burgers with the coldest beer in the city for a perfect night out. For more information about our friends over at Bell Tavern, give them a call, 901-249-6580. That's 901-249-6580, or go online to belltavern.com. Well, let's wrap up this second hour. When we return, Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. We'll talk all things college basketball. That's next on Sports Time.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme Cannabis, that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Stay
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings and Grill. With over 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings and Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings and Grill.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal, then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Help trucks are out here already assisting with a couple of disabled vehicles. What we're seeing right now is that traffic starting to get a little bit heavier through certain sections of the Midtown area, especially 240 South and South Parkway. Now, the further south you go of Memphis, we did see radar down through there within the last hour on 55 down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Hey, bridal season, it's just around the corner, so stop by and see them right now at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Wednesday afternoon. We got to talk some college basketball. Joining us now from Sports Illustrated, it's Kevin Sweeney. You can follow him on social media at CBB_Central. He joins us now. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. Obviously, it is March. We've got already some conference tournaments getting started in some of these smaller conferences. And so I'm curious, everyone talking about bracketology, everybody getting ready for Selection Sunday. We're going to see a lot of the more low major, mid-major tournaments this week, and then into next week when we get the big conferences going. But who is, and obviously everyone talking about Miami, Ohio, St. Louis, those type of teams. Have you identified a mid-major team, low major team that you think could go into the NCAA tournament and maybe knock somebody off, make a little bit of noise, a Cinderella team?
I think there's a pretty good group this year. I really like Belmont. I'll see them here this weekend. I'm headed to Arch Madness in St. Louis, which is always phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I just think their talent level, their skill, their shooting, all of those things, play well, and they do have the size and physicality that I think you need to match up, right? They're obviously not going to go man for man, but they have real size and length, which I think is important, especially in this climate where more and more teams at the high major level have leaned in really to playing bigger.
Kevin, I've already declared that my bracket's going to be very chalk heavy, just like last year's tournament, maybe the last 2 years. Do you buy into the theory that a lot of the teams that would have been 11, 12, 13 seed upset bracket darlings no longer can do that because maybe the star of that team or stars, they've gone to bigger places.
I think there's some truth to that, yes. I think it's harder to build, more than anything, I think it's harder to build the continuity that I think really makes mid-major teams special and builds those kind of elite. And look, I think Miami, Ohio is a great example. Miami, Ohio has 3 starters back from last year, a 25-win team. That just doesn't happen for most of the schools at that level now. And you're never going to be winning the talent war when you are, Miami of Ohio or Belmont or a team like that versus a high major like a North Carolina or someone like that, a Louisville. You have to win on continuity and, understanding how to play with one another, your system. And it's harder to build that nowadays, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, you talk about that continuity, and especially with Miami, Ohio, we're kind of having the same conversation already here in Memphis with this Tigers team. And who do you bring back, and who do you get rid of, and what does it look like? Obviously, we've talked with you about the idea of a general manager here. When you look at this roster, obviously, the big name that could return next year, Aaron Bradshaw. How do you view this Memphis team, a team that's really struggled this year, but has the ability to bring back some guys? What would you do in that scenario? Do you try to bring back more of those guys that really struggled, or is it, hey, let's try to bring in a whole new group of guys because this season was just a wash?
Look, I think the challenging thing, and I talk to coaches every day who are maybe not 12-17, but struggling and frustrated and all those things, right? And it's really hard to take the frustrated glasses off and not assign the blame. Okay, we are bad because of Aaron Bradshaw and because of Curtis Givens, because of Stedford or whatever, right? Like, not sit there and overly kill your own players, because at the end of the day, you have to operate with a level of rationality and understand the guys you don't know are still going to have problems too, right? At this time last year, Memphis could sit there and say how great Curtis Givens was, or I guess a month from now, right? Like in April of last year, they can consider how great Curtis Givens is, and then they can say all the problems they have with him now that they've coached him and been around him for a year. That's the case for every portal guy. So I think the thing I try to urge coaches I talk to is slow down. Yeah, look, I'm not wedded to this core at Memphis, right? There's a reason they're losing to East Carolina and UAB, and like that's the reality. You can't be. You can't be wedded to them.
What's changing? Why run it back with this team? Brian and I went through it, and he had 1 or 2, wasn't many. Mine was big, flat 0. I can go 12-19 without any of y'all.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't blame Memphis if they fully cleaned house, right? And it may be the smart move in retrospect, but I do value continuity, especially in this era. And if you can find even just 1 or 2 guys that you can build with, I think that helps. It's also important, you need people who can be around campus to bring these guys along, to host them on their official visits, things like that. Those are small things you don't think about that are important to building the roster. You gotta have something to sell to the guys that you're recruiting in the portal.
Now, when you say clean house, you meant the roster, not Penny. We're all there.
Sure.
I don't really know anybody after him, although he feels very besieged and says he's been mistreated. I don't know by who he thinks so, but whatever. Do you think the game tomorrow night and the game on Sunday, Tigers play Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday, that's right.
Do you think these last 2 games, that if he didn't make Birmingham, that should factor into Ed Scott's decision, or should it already be made whether he wins both, loses both, split, whatever?
I personally don't think it should matter. My view is sort of if you're bad, you're bad, right? This is clearly a bad basketball team, stealing 2 games, making I understand those are barometers for success, but at the end of the day, I think especially in this climate that we're in, it's easy for teams to kind of roll over and quit when things stop going well. And I think Memphis has the look of a defeated basketball team right now, and I don't know that magically fixing it with a bunch of guys who probably won't be here next year changes that, in my opinion. Now, again, I do think the pressure externally maybe changes a little if you miss Birmingham, and that may play into any decision that the AD would make. But I personally would be more of the belief, once you hit a level of bad, it doesn't matter how bad it gets. You're either our guy or you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, but every coach is at whims of that one big donor that made them mad enough that you didn't even qualify for Birmingham. They could apply the pressure.
100%. No, I agree with that, and I do think, like, full stop. If Memphis misses the conference tournament in the American Conference as the highest budget in the league, that would be I'll call it a fireable offense, right? It doesn't mean that overall in the greater picture that you might say, okay, we still believe in our guy, we think he's the right person for this long term, but that result would be a massive indictment. Yeah. And the fact that it's even a conversation is certainly one as well.
Kevin, you have a gigantic, big national perch. Do you know of anybody nationally? Because we all agree that nobody locally is really after Penny. We've had questions, we've had frustrations, we've had discussions about would have done this when he did that, but nobody's gone in deep. Do you know of anybody nationally that you think's kind of calling for his job?
No, I don't think it's quite to that extent. I do think that people have been people have not been shy in criticizing him. I think that's part of the job, right? But the great part of Memphis is that people care, not just in Memphis, but nationally. It is a national brand in many respects. I do think people have been quick to criticize and maybe slow to heap praise, and that's something Penny has to deal with. But I don't think that there's a massive national groundswell to fire Penny Hardaway if that's the narrative around town.
If you could go back, not even the entire from day one of the Penny Hardaway tenure, let's just go back to when the whole world changed. After COVID, the first foray into NIL, what would be a big thing if you could go back and wave a wand and change? What would you change about it?
About Memphis?
Mm-hmm. And about the job he's done, yeah.
I think it would have increased the importance to me in building a level of staff continuity and building real trust in the people that work under him. Mm-hmm. I think that to me is the core of a lot of the failings is that the constant turnover there and the lack of trust in his own building, I think has made it really difficult for him to build the type of culture and continuity that wins in this era.
I mean, he wouldn't let Larry Brown coach.
Yeah, and it's been that with a lot of other coaches as well. Kevin, you wrote a story over on Sports Illustrated about the 8 teams that can win it all. In that list, Duke, Michigan, Arizona, Florida, UConn, Iowa State, Illinois, and St. John's. Outside of that, who was the next closest that you omitted from that?
Probably Houston. Mm-hmm. I really like their group still. I think with Flemings and the guard play, and obviously the coach and Sampson, that all certainly plays into things. The thing that I came back to with them was, when they played their biggest games, and a lot of those have been away from home. I'll give them credit for that. When they played biggest games, they've let themselves down a little bit. Haven't been able to close. Had a chance to beat Arizona, couldn't do it. Had a chance to beat Iowa State late, didn't do it. Should have probably beaten Texas Tech, didn't do it. You just look around, it's like, man, if I haven't trusted them yet to close out games, I don't know why they're going to stack 3 or 4 of them in the NCAA tournament, which you'll need to do.
St. John's you had in there. It's I think it's going to be hard for a lot of people to shake the performance that we watched against UConn last week. What do you see from this St. John's team? Obviously, they played a lot better outside of that UConn game, but what was the reasoning to have them included in that 8?
Yeah, so number one, I sort of make the rules a little difficult on me, and I just can't pick the top 8. I wrote it in the story. We do one team outside the top 15 in the AP poll. And so once you look around at that, you see a team in St. John's that, number one, has still won, I believe, 15 of 16, a team that has a ton of size and physicality, that has, real roster pedigree. That's something that people probably overlook in bracket building. Like, the team that has underachieved during the regular season but was billed as a top-tier team in the preseason, that usually means they have the talent. And then they also have the coaching, obviously, with Rick. So, look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you St. John's is winning the championship, but if you told me they made a run, I wouldn't be for it.
You mentioned Houston as your 9. They have a real chance to pod to Oklahoma City and then play not in their arena but in their hometown in Houston for the regional finals.
Right. No, the location stuff is very real and very critical, and quite frankly is one of the storylines that probably doesn't get talked about enough down the stretch of the season. Is can Houston position itself for that? Can Illinois try to get to St. Louis for the first 2 rounds, or to Chicago ideally for the second weekend? That'll be difficult with Michigan's presence. Duke obviously went to D.C. To play that game against Michigan, in part because they were hoping that would be their path through the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight in Washington, in that same arena. So, it's massive, and certainly for a team like Houston, it could be a huge advantage.
Duke's not on a charter flight again until NCAA tournament or regional time, are they?
I don't think so. Maybe they decide they want a puddle jump up to D.C. and save the legs a little bit, but they do have the luxury, certainly. And really, I mean, dating back to early February, they just had the one trip to Notre Dame. Otherwise, it's been easy trips, and you can't underestimate the value of that in terms of their legs heading into the NCAA tournament.
This Iowa State team has been interesting. The loss on Monday at Arizona, and I've heard some people, question this Iowa State team because they've lost 3 of their last 4 games, but those losses at BYU, home against Texas Tech, and then at Arizona before that, back-to-back wins over Kansas and Houston. What are you seeing with this Iowa State team, and what do you expect to see from them next week in the conference tournament and then in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, look, I think the concern you have with them is that, their offense, particularly the shooting, has sort of hit a wall. They were running hot from distance, I think would be the best way of putting it early in the year. They've been just good, not great in Big 12 play. And I think teams have really started to dare some of their guards, particularly Killian Torrey, who was a revelation as a freshman. He's great defensively. But, he made 7 threes. He made a bunch of threes early in the year. He made, I think, 6 or 7 in Players Era. He made 3 against Purdue. He is not a good three-point shooter. And teams are just straight up not guarding him, and it's blowing up a lot of their stuff offensively. So, I do worry about that in terms of, you're projecting a team to win the championship. Do they just have enough offensively? But, they're physical and tough and experienced. I mean, to have 3 starters that were part of last year's group, that I think values even greater in March.
I know we've talked Keaton Wagler with you throughout the season, but I know you had the feature story about him over at Sports Illustrated last week. You look at this Illinois team; they've dealt with some injuries, throughout the season and as of late. But what kind of noise do you think they can make in the tournament?
I still think their ceiling is unbelievably high because they have the shooting bigs. They dominate the offensive glass. They have the NBA level guard. Lately, I think some of the chickens have come to roost defensively, which has been a big deal. And then what was really concerning against Michigan, look, I liked their front court. I think, Ivisic and, certainly I think Mirkovic is phenomenal, but they were just outclassed physically by Merez Johnson and Mara. Not to say that a lot of people won't do that against Michigan, but when you're talking about the best teams in the sport and likely having to go through 1 or 2, probably 2, of an Arizona, a Michigan, a Florida, a Duke, even a Houston, that just have so much size and physicality, like you better be ready for war. And Illinois was not on Friday night in Champaign.
This is the time of the year that you play for in college basketball. This is what defines you. March success is what ultimately defines every coach. With that, what coach do you think is the one that's most in knots? They all are in knots, but who's most in knots heading into this, and who is most cool about it? Bring it on. I'm ready for it. Who's the one more torn up and the one less?
It's a great question. Look, I do imagine that there's just a pressure that's starting to mount for a lot of these older guys, right? Mark Few, Kelvin Sampson,
Izzo.
Matt Painter, Izzo. I mean, Izzo at least has won it before.
Yeah.
I think some of these guys, I think Matt Painter was very open about the fact that there was an expectation level with this season and with this group that it may not come around again at Purdue to have a team like this, that with the continuity, with the experience, with the talent, and it hasn't quite gone according to plan. And I think if you're thinking of a coach that is going to feel the heat of March, obviously not getting fired, not getting chased out of town anytime soon, but just again the pressure and the understanding of like needing to seize the moment. I really circle Painter and the Boilers.
Who's Mr. Cool?
In a weird way, I think Dusty May is. And it's funny because on one hand you say, man, like you get a team like this, like there is this immense pressure to win it, but like I think about Dan Hurley a few times in that 24 season, and he is the opposite of Mr. Cool, right? He is under pressure constantly. He's losing his mind, and there was just like a peace about him because you could tell he was like, man, like these guys have me. And when I talk to Dusty May right now, I get the same kind of vibe. Like he's like, man, like obviously we could lose, but there's just like such a self-belief in this group, and I think that translates in March.
Last thing for you, Kevin, the Chad Baker-Mazzara saga at USC. You know, he plays in that game against Nebraska. He has 14 points. I know there's the video that's going around of him not sitting on the bench with his teammates, but kind of sitting on the baseline. And then we learn, I believe it was the next day, that he is no longer with the program. What happened there, and kind of what do you make of this whole saga that has been the Chad Baker-Mazzara really his entire career?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's as you said, this was not a surprise to anyone who has followed the Chad Baker experience. I think it's something that USC was certainly aware of, eyes wide open when they took him. And he pushed and pushed and pushed and took and took and took. And I think eventually Muss just kind of had enough. And the courtside seat debacle was probably the last straw. But it's funny, like, I was getting texts when that was happening of like, man, like, he looks super disrespectful. What's going on? And I was like, I've watched enough USC. Like, I've seen him do that like 3 or 4 times this year. Like, this wasn't the first time. And again, I think it was probably just the straw that broke the camel's back. He's never been untalented, but he has always been a whole heck of a lot to deal with. And I think, especially when your season starts to go off the rails, you start to say, all right, I just don't want this guy around anymore.
Yeah. See, I was watching it, and I was kind of that person who I was like, that's weird. That's very weird that he's sitting over there. And then I saw some people kind of point out that, no, he's been doing that at other times this season. I was like, that might be even weirder, that this has been kind of a recurring occurrence for him to just not be with his teammates and be sitting on the baseline. So just a really weird kind of extra chapter to his career and what will be the end of his career. But Kevin, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy this weekend, all these games, the tournament starting, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Enjoy, guys. Talk soon.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin Sweeney, he joins us every single Wednesday during the college basketball season to talk some college hoops. And it's that time of the year with March and all of these tournaments. Some already started, some about to get started, and then obviously we'll have the big avalanche of tournaments next week. I don't think so. I mean, if you want to give me one, I'm always open for one. But I certainly don't have anything on any of these games, so I am not in any dire need
in fact,
of it.
If we sit here to the end of time, I don't think you could guess where what I have in front of me.
I probably
on
could
my computer.
And
not anything close to that.
No. I don't know. What is it? I'm curious now.
And I don't know what led me to it. The 1968-69 Dallas Chaparrals roster in the ABA.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Brett, you got me. I would have never guessed that.
How many guesses, Landon?
Eternity.
You could have given me as many as you wanted.
Infinity guesses, and I would have never landed
Tomorrow
on
during
that.
Hardwood, let's play what site John has.
No, well, that would be a completely different. That'd be completely different. I don't know if I want to go there, but we're gonna get to break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor, Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City. They've been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984. And they've got a talented team. They're ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince for Bluff City Jaguar. We need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your #1 Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Are you listening? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold. It's only once a year. Act now. 0% APR, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. There's 0 to pay to drive today. Landers Ford in Colliersville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2025 total new vehicle retail sales report, Memphis Market, with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $1,667 per 1,000 finance. Regardless of down payment, interest accrues from inception. Example, 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat. VIN number 1FTFW5L8XSFB43528. MSRP $71,675. Ford bonus cash $1,000. Sale price $70,675. Based on 0% APR financing for 60 months. Price, tax, title, and $695 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 4/2/26.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good evening. As traffic gets a little bit heavier, pretty much on schedule, trying to push south of Memphis on the interstate here on 55 going southbound down through DeSoto County. A little bit of radar out here on I-40 earlier on 40 as you come past 269 leaving Shelby County headed on into Fayette County. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids with cancer, please do. Log on to their website at stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending. Several different things that are trending around here locally and nationally. I've got a couple things I want to get to. We haven't mentioned, though, we've got tennis tournament coming to Memphis. We haven't discussed that. So that'll be fun for those interested. Yeah,
good.
It's going to be at the forgive me, I don't know the name of the facility that they built for the University of Memphis. Leftwich facility, which is beautiful. I've driven by it a couple times. It looks awesome. So this tournament's coming in.
Has a good time.
It's I hope so. It's going to be a lot of fun for those who are interested in it. I might even go down there, Brett, just to experience it.
I'm not, but have fun. I want everybody that will experience and enjoy it to do so.
I don't blame you, but yeah, I don't know. I don't actually know when it's in the summer, I believe, right? I don't know.
I have no.
I didn't have enough.
After Leftwich Center, I'm out on it.
I was also I didn't have enough notes for that on when it's coming, but I do know it is coming. So a lot of fun things happening. Redbird's going to be starting here before long. They've got the bananas coming, but not the bananas. It's the kind of groups.
I'm ready to hear from people that go to AutoZone Park because I know the financing, almost $55 million was out there.
That's right.
I want to see if it went into the ballpark.
Yeah.
And exactly how it looks and what they did.
But I'll tell you this, and I know we're all excited about Major League Baseball getting started, and obviously we've got the WBC getting started today, but a couple days ago, it was either Sunday or Monday, it might have been one of the, I saw a score from the Cardinals spring training. I was like, you know what? I wonder when the Redbirds get started. For the life of me, I could not find a schedule anywhere.
It's hard at their site.
I mean, I went to their site multiple times to try to find a schedule. Just tried to search it. Went to social media. I couldn't find the site anywhere. I finally found where they had a list of them.
I did the same thing. Went through their Twitter site direct to their website, and finally scrolled down and found it.
Yeah.
Not easy to navigate at all. Not much is for me, but makes me feel better that it wasn't for you either.
Yeah, no, it's hard now. And I was on my phone, so the phone kind of, it sometimes with websites, it gets a little hairy.
Really didn't have my heart in it. And then I discovered it. I think they start on the road and then come home late March, early April.
I'll take your word for it because
something like that.
See, now here I find on my computer I can find a 2026 PDF, and now actually the actual schedule is popping up for me, but on my phone I could not get it to pop up. So yeah, they're at Gwinnett to start things off just for a weekend series. They do that kind of a weird start where they just start a weekend series.
Then they start the Tuesday through Sunday
thing. That's right,
here.
And then they start Tuesday against Norfolk. I'll be there for Norfolk. My guy Jose Barrero, I think, is still with Norfolk.
Tell me where July 4th, if they're the 3rd or the 4th. And this year the 4th is on a Saturday. So I wonder if we'll do the minor league baseball. Everybody either gets the 3rd or the 4th thing.
So at least according to the Redbird schedule, it does not look like you get one and the other because it looks like Charlotte will be in town for July 4th. And it doesn't look like any road games around that whole week.
Well, then Charlotte wouldn't get anything.
That's right. Yeah. So it looks like they are moving away from that. At least what this schedule says. I mean, that could be
you going to the bananas?
Different. No. You had to be in like a lottery to just win tickets to it. I mean, it was like you couldn't just go online and buy tickets.
I want anybody that goes have a blast.
Yeah.
I think it'd be something to see. I'm not much on make believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that is.
Sure. Well, But I've heard, because I've gotten pushback on that it's more real than like the Globetrotters, because I always compare them to the Globetrotters. But
Globetrotters would occasionally lose.
Sure, but this is not scripted at all.
How would you like to be the little kid that at 10 years old, like I did the one time and I've told this story a million times. My Aunt Shirley, she takes me and her son, my cousin, we go to the game, and very nice of her. I go, didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
And I Meadowlark Lemon, Curly Neal, Geese. I mean, I saw the Globetrotters. Mm-hmm. It didn't do much for me. It was make believe. Mm-hmm. I want competition. At 10, I wanted competition. Mm-hmm. I don't want to go to funsies. Mm-hmm. And that's what so they're saying they're not. The baseball's not.
It plays out however it plays out.
Now, we're not getting the real bananas, though, are we?
No. They've expanded it. We're kind of getting
the diamond ding dongs, or who are we getting?
We're getting the party animals and the clowns.
Do they have the diamond ding dongs?
Yeah, I don't.
That'd be a good name for the third or fourth team, wouldn't it?
It would be. I don't hate it. But yeah, we're getting the party animals and the clowns. But yeah, sold out. There are, I think, still some premium seating that you can go buy, but it's Oh, wow. I didn't realize they're here like this weekend. I didn't know that. I thought it was
I didn't either.
Like it's March 7th and March 8th.
I thought it was dead of summer.
Yeah, I thought so too. No, it's like in a couple days.
Oh, good.
Come look at it. I just clicked this link and it said 3 days, 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 50 seconds. I was like, wait a minute.
And again, I hope everybody goes, they have a good time.
It's going to be packed out, and it should be fun.
It's not what I want.
But yeah, it's because they do the tricks, they have the fun, they do kind of the bits. But like the actual baseball is real, and it's not like we're the Globetrotters. It's like, hey, we're gonna beat you.
So it's not all choreographed like the wrestling.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I've heard. At least I haven't watched enough Bananas. I've tuned in, but I just haven't tuned in enough to know the how the ins and outs of Banana Ball. But yeah, that'll be fun. So your guys coming to AutoZone Park. Oh man, I didn't know we were going to have this whole conversation about the Redbirds.
My guy.
Your guy, Joey Chestnut. He's coming. He's coming to the ballpark.
He's not my guy.
He's your guy. He was down there in Oxford with the Rebels. I mean, that's your guy right there.
That was one of the most gross things I've ever witnessed in my life.
Saturday, July 18th, the greatest competitive eater of all time, Joey Chestnut, going to be at AutoZone Park. I have to make it out there for that one. They're playing the Cubs AAA team.
Not anything more gross.
Yeah, no, it's great. It is interesting. But you know what, Brett? I find myself every 4th of July, I'm watching it.
I've never watched. The only time I watched was that putatively was the Ole Miss spring game a few years ago.
I mean, it is impressive, Brad. I mean, you got to admit, like as
that's not the word I would use for it.
It's impressive. I mean, it is something.
I thought it was foul.
I mean, it is. Like, I agree with you on that, but it's impressive to be able to do that in terms of eating. It is got to give them credit.
It's dogfighting of eating to me.
Well, I would agree with that. I wanted to bring this up earlier, and we just haven't had time for it. Did you see what happened in the Ole Miss Vanderbilt game last night?
I did. I did not see it. I was listening.
Right. It was the SEC Plus game, which how in the world
never could find it.
How in the world is an SEC game not just on regular television?
I was listening to Gary, and I don't think it cost Ole Miss the game, but it was very confusing.
Yeah, it was crazy. I've never seen. I mean, I couldn't think of anything that another time I've seen something like that. For those that did not see it, his game went to overtime. Vanderbilt ultimately won the game, but in the second half, with about 50 seconds plus a couple to go in regulation, there was a play where Malik Dia gets on the ground. He turns the ball over. Vanderbilt gets it, and while he's getting up, reaches his arm out and grabs kind of the knee of a Vanderbilt player, and he doesn't fall to the ground, but he kind of loses his balance a little bit. Nobody notices it at all. The broadcast doesn't notice it. I went back and watched the Vanderbilt coaching staff. Nobody on the Vanderbilt coaching staff even batted an eye at it. 30 seconds later, about 25 seconds remaining in the game, there is a foul on Vanderbilt. Malik Dia is going to go to the line to shoot free throws in kind of the downtime of all of that. Vanderbilt somebody shows Mark Byington, I guess, the clip and says, hey, you've got to go and have them take a look at this. And so they did. They stopped the game, and the officials looked at it and ultimately charged Malik Dia with a flagrant foul. So they get the flagrant foul. He shoots his free throws. Then Vanderbilt goes down before they shoot their free throws. The refs come together again. That was Malik Dia's 5th foul. He's out. So he's ejected. So Malik Dia scored 2 points
out of the game
30 seconds after being fouled out of the game. So it's just super weird. They talked about there's a window that coaches have to point something out where the officials can go and look at it. But man, I mean, to think that we are at a point in athletics where not only you can say, hey, review that and go and look at the replay, but say, hey, go and review something that happened 30 seconds ago in the game. And that's what we got last night. It was crazy to watch.
Tomorrow, in the middle of March Madness, we're going to have Brad Crawford from CBS Sports on with us and talk college football, and him with the Tigers in his way too early college football playoff. He also has Ole Miss a lot from the SEC. At 4:30, with the news of the passing of Coach Lou Holtz, Coach Houston Nutt will join us, and he has a very colorful past with Lou Holtz, being a player for the first Lou Holtz team, 1977 at Arkansas. And all the years we've been in here in games and highlights, and all the highlights are out right now from Coach Holtz's storied career. Have you ever seen me fist pump like the Barnabas White touchdown run in the Orange Bowl in January 2nd, 1978?
No, that fired you up for sure. No, you got very excited with that. And as you should, I was enjoying watching. I love watching the old highlights and stuff like that.
That was a fun day. That day, 4 games on New Year's Day, and I'm going to say Sugar Bowl in New Orleans and Cotton Bowl in Dallas started around the same time, maybe a 30-minute head start for Sugar Bowl. Bama put it on Woody Hayes and Ohio State. That starts the day. That was great. And then Earl Campbell, Heisman Trophy winner, against Notre Dame, Joe Montana, that Ole Miss had defeated that year. And that game, a route, then led right in nationally to the Rose Bowl and watching it, and Washington and Michigan in that game. And then at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, prime time, Arkansas and Oklahoma with all the players suspended. And Barnabas White, that touchdown run, they showed he was from Marion. And different Marion then, much, much, much smaller. He was the big deal out of Marion then, but more of a track star. And he got in late, and Arkansas had a quarterback. Their starting quarterback was Ron Calcagney. The backup was Houston, and they both had played. A route was on, but they had a quarterback that had his name was Mike Scott. Mike's passed away now, and he's gone, and was a great guy, great broker through the years at Stevens Inc. in Little Rock, from Hall High in Little Rock. And a few years before this, he had played in one of those games that every quarterback's hurt. And the game plan is the ball never goes in there. You just hand it off, don't check out anything, hand off. And Arkansas won, and he became legendary in the football complex for kind of taking that hit for the team. So late in the game, Coach Holtz tells him, he goes, look, I'm going to put you in, and you come to the sideline and get every play because the camera's going to be on me pulling this big upset. And you come to the sideline and get every play, and you'll get your camera time that way. Like second or third play, he gives the ball to Barnabas White. He hits that long touchdown, and that was the end of the game. He was only in for like 2 or 3 plays.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. But yeah, you're right. All the highlights are out there, and they're going to be on loop after the sad news earlier today. Lou Holtz passing away at the age of 89. Last thing I did want to mention before we get to a break, the trade earlier today, a pretty big trade in the NFL. The Chiefs trading Trent McDuffie to the Rams for 4 draft picks, including the number 29 pick in this year's 2026 NFL draft. So McDuffie, who has been a big piece for that Chiefs team, on the move to LA with the Rams. So it'll be interesting to see that change there, and what the Chiefs do now, losing a player like McDuffie. That is a loss, but certainly getting those 4 draft picks.
The hot stove is
It's
hitting
getting
NFL.
ready to be insane. It's already been crazy, but it's going to reach
It's the
another
best.
level. No, it really is, and it's going to be a lot of fun to keep up with. But let's get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Mo's Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Ben Store Realtors, and I'm with Julie Mullimary, also with Mark's Ben Store Realtors. Julie, you've been in real estate almost your entire life, having started in South Florida in your family's firm. But more importantly, as the Florida's high school state champion in golf and playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I needed your opinion on my golf game.
Sheldon, you are a pro when it comes to selling real estate and representing buyers, but as far as your golf game, I've seen better swings on the playground.
Thanks a lot, Julie. We both know the score, though. Selling real estate requires a high degree of skill off the course, and both of us do have that. So if you're thinking of selling your home, remember, making real estate easy is Julie. Julie Mullimary, 305-0112.
And when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hey, it's Flo here to say drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds.
Nice! With my new savings, I'll get some hiking gear. It'll be great for my outdoor era.
I don't know if it counts as an era if you just buy stuff.
I got a cute hiking backpack. It's an outdoor era.
Well, you only bought one thing. I don't think it's an era.
Well, I think we're in a agree to disagree era.
Yeah, sure, you're probably right. Anyway, with the money you could save by switching to Progressive, you can afford to switch to other things in life. It's
my savings era.
Also, everything you do is not an era.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for unlimited range time, free gun rentals with purchase of ammo, and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Whitten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always shoot with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye!
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Head out there. They've got the bowls, they've got the burritos, the crunch wraps, the tacos. A perfect time tonight. Head out there and get some Moe's. They've got great deals as always, so make sure you head out there. We appreciate them being a part of our show each and every afternoon. But Brett, what I learned today, I've decided, in all the talk of expansion, you've got expansion talk in the NBA, which is kind of the big one right now. You always get the people in the NFL of, oh, what if they expanded? But in the NFL, it's more, what if they expanded internationally with all of these international games that they play? I've decided. I want international expansion, but I want it in Major League Baseball after watching the Dominican Republic team last night in the DR playing an exhibition game against, I forgot who they were playing, the Tigers last night in an exhibition game. Those fans, it felt like that was Game 7 of the World Series when they were up by 1 trillion runs. Junior Caminero hits a home run. It was the third straight home run in that inning. He's just leaping around the bases. He's popping his jersey. The crowd is going crazy. I could watch Dominican baseball 24/7 for the rest of my life. Those fans love the sport of baseball, and that team's going to be a fun team to watch.
How was Albert in the dugout?
I didn't watch enough of it. I just saw the highlights of it. So I didn't get a good look of him. I'll certainly be watching once these games actually matter in the WBC, and I'll be watching that especially. But I'm ready. Let's expand. Let's go down to the DR.
Okay, I'm ready for that. What I learned of all the numbers, and they are a lot of numbers, all the first, all the rock bottoms, all the low points, all the whining and tears flowing about this season. Here's the number I can't get out of my mind about the Penny Hardaway 8-year tenure as head coach of the Tigers. He's going to miss the tournament 5 out of 8 years. 5 out of 8. Now, I know somebody's going to say, but 2020 was really the one. If it hadn't been for the mean old vid, they were 21-10. They went 4-5 in their last 9. They were a 6th seed at Dickies Arena, and that was the year they had a 40-point loss to Tulsa. So that's really the team that was going to go all the way and win it, or go deep, or second weekend? No.
I don't think so. But even if, throw that in there, it's still only half. You know, it's still
you give
great.
them that. Yeah, that's right. You give that year,
especially in this conference. That is just not enough. What I could have done without today, kind of sticking there with the Tigers, the news earlier today, Ed Scott sharing during that Board of Trustees meeting that the basketball program, the men's basketball program, is currently projecting a $1.2 million deficit between its budgeted and year-to-date revenue generated from ticket sales and parking. Obviously, when you look at Tiger basketball, that's going to be one, when they're doing their projections, they're going to project the most for that because of what Tiger basketball is. It's football, it's basketball, and those are the two. No, it really can't. But you watch these games, you see the attendance. You maybe not project the 1.2 million, but you knew it was going to be some sort of a deficit. So just hated seeing those numbers earlier today, especially when you see all of these stories over the last handful of months of universities and athletic departments all over the country talking about the lack of finances and the money that they're losing.
I could have done without. I can't blame them at all. Why wouldn't Team Euro, ole, named Luke Donald again as Ryder Cup captain? He's going for three straight captaincies for him. Europe hadn't lost at home since 1993. I like his odds. Our potential captain, Tiger Woods, he's too busy trying to get Memphis off the tour list.
Well, yeah, no, he's got a lot on his plate right now. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me. I'm going downtown to the Grizzlies game, but it'd be fun to be at Bud Walton Arena tonight for Texas and Arkansas. And I think very poignant, ironic on the day that Coach Holtz passes away, his biggest win at Arkansas. If it wasn't the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma, it was October 17th, 1981 in Fayetteville when Arkansas beat number 1 Texas 42-11.
Yeah, there's a lot of good basketball tonight, but beam me to game 1 of the WBC Chinese Taipei against Australia at the Tokyo Dome. That's 9 p.m. tonight on FS1. That'll be a lot of fun.
I mentioned USC at UW. Eric Musselman went to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 at Arkansas. He hadn't got off to that start at SC. Also, OKC at MSG.
Yeah, some good NBA games, including the Grizzlies tonight. We also have a lot of conference action tonight. OVC, NEC, Horizon, Big South, A-Sun, Summit, Sun Belt, all in action tonight, including, on top of that, some other big-time games. Miami on the road at SMU, a bubble team, so that'll be one to keep an eye on. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.